Discussions, you got Nash in the building.
Got Ash in the building.
Ash, what you got for us today?
We got part 2 of Life After Incarceration. Now, this is last week we talked about some things, but we didn't really get into it. We ain't really scratched the surface. So today we really gonna get into it.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna get into challenges, relationships, mental, physical, emotional, all types of stuff. We're just gonna get into it. It's unfiltered. It is what it is. So we got Wale, we got Abdul Jabbar, we got the neighborhood wiseman over here. All right. Now, my first question to you all is, what challenges have you faced in prison? And that can be however you want to get it.
Who we got first?
Who want to go first? Y'all want to go first?
Well, the old head did go first last time.
Yeah,
so on you two over this side. Let's go.
As far as the challenges that you have in prison, right? I said basically is everything is an adjustment. You know what I mean? You know, especially whether it's entry or exit. So the hardest thing about entry is, of course, losing your freedom, losing the things that you used to do every day, whether it's a certain thing that you do, however your life was going before incarceration. You know what I mean? You know, that's the hardest thing, making an adjustment to that, from the food to the people to the sleep to the challenges of, the adversities that you facing as far as doing the time, what you looking at. All these things is potential things that could basically, change your life. Like, you know what I mean? You know, because your whole life is changing, and based on the amount of time that you're looking at and the amount of time you're being there, that's one of the biggest adjustments, because you got to figure it out. Like, all right, looking down this road, whatever the case may be, this is going to be my life for however many years. For the duration, you know what I mean? Because if you're looking at a substantial amount of time, then you know that, all right, this is what it's going to be for me. Like, I'm going to lose my family. Even though they might be there supporting me, even though they might be there, coming to see me on the visits. If I got a son, if I got a daughter, whatever the case may be, then I'm going to lose the chance of raising them, because it's hard to raise your children from inside. You know what I mean? You can't be there with them for them every moment. It's like they might need you more than, you can give. Even if you're on the phone with them 24/7, they still need you to be there physically. They need to have them talks with you. They might need you in the middle of the night when they wake up and they need somebody to talk to. They need somebody to give them a hug. They need somebody to give them advice. Your spouse, the same thing. You know what I mean? It might get hard on her, like, far as even dealing with the kids. Not even only financially, but just dealing with them from an aspect of growing up. You know what I mean? Raising them. You know what I mean? So these are the things. Your mother, you know what I mean? Your family members, they express to you, like, even though they not around and you going through what you're going through, this don't mean that it don't take a toll on them. You know what I mean? Your mom, she used to having you around, and your sister, she used to having you around. They the women of the family. They looking for the man being a protector of the family. Basically, and that's what's happening, because when we go to jail, you lose that blanket. You lose that blanket or whatever you had as far as, like, protecting them. You know what I mean? So these are some of the different adverse effects. Now we go back to the situation, maybe financially. You probably had a couple dollars out there, but now your money going to other things, lawyer fees, your money going to commissary, your money going to the people out there that's misappropriating your funds. Even if you got things going on, you might have a couple businesses in check, but nobody's going to run a business or run the things that you had going on except by the leave of you being there. Now, when you gone, it take away that respect. You know what I mean? That respect that they had for doing things while you were around, it's different when they're in your absence. So all these things basically are life-changing events that happen when you go to jail. You know what I mean? So even down to the treatment, like the respect. You may have a certain type of respect that you command from everybody, or people that give you, that know you, but then you might got somebody in here, man, that don't know you. You know what I mean? He may be a sucker. Like, you got to deal with all type of things that mentally you got to prepare yourself for. You know what I mean? People that really will say anything to you. Now they in your business. Now they in your face. Now they saying, basically, like, they in your path. Like, certain people, like, we got a thing, like, in jail is always, like, you say things like, in the streets, we probably never would even say two things to each other, and that's the truth. Because when you you basically in an atmosphere where everything is minimized, right, far as, like, your movements and just you individually, it's like it's hard because now everybody know what everybody got going on. Everybody in your business, even if you don't deal with them directly. So that's one of the hardest things that it was for me, because I'm like an introvert in many ways. So it was hard basically having to, deal with a lot of individuals. Like, it just be cordial. You know what I mean? So that was one of the things, but everything came together. So, it was like, over a period of time, you just make the proper adjustments. You make the proper adjustments and you do the best thing that worked for you.
I like that. Ollie?
My biggest challenge going to prison was disappointment. Just that by itself is just, I don't think we got enough time, but but nah, it's disappointment, you know what I'm saying? In the beginning, it's like a shocking phase that you go through, you know what I mean? And I think that was, that's what contributed to me lashing out. I didn't know how to accept disappointment because I like to say that I was, more so independent when I was on the street, even though I was a young boy. You know what I mean? My mom wasn't buying my clothes. You know what I'm saying? I was giving, making sure my mom was cool. She didn't need it, but I was trying to make sure she was cool with, me and my brother, my youngest brother. But going to prison and all that being stripped from you. So now you can say, all right, well, I don't need the streets. And the way you do, you need that push. You know what I'm saying, to get through whatever you're going through. You know what I'm saying? You get on the phone, you can't get no answer. That joint, I done seen that joint send dudes crazy. Whether you call them a significant other, whether you call them a parent, whatever the case may be, that disappointment, that letdown, being faced with that, and then being young and faced with that, is vicious. So that was my biggest challenge all throughout. But as years went on, I had to just say, like, I don't even care, in order to safeguard myself from being disappointed. One time I talked to my oldest brother, and at the time he had life, and he caught life when he was 16 years old. So a lot of the way that I am now come from him, and I had an uncle still fighting to get off of death row. You know what I'm saying? So the letters that I got from them, that's what really meant the most to me, and that's what really fashioned, and molded me throughout my incarceration, because I'm generating from off of what they give me. Now I'm building off what they give me. And they start from scratch with me because I'm young, up in that joint, 30 years. All right, so they really was the ones that really put forth, that effort to really like, well, listen, but you gotta, and then it still took some time to, to adapt to that. But one thing I never forget, my oldest brother, Rock Mason, he told me, he said, the less expectation you got for an individual, the less disappointment will come. Stop. You want to give people, even family members or friends or whatever, the benefit of the doubt, but you can't do that. So in order to safeguard yourself from that, you cannot have that high expectation. You gotta leave room for that disappointment to come. So when I started to leave room for that disappointment to come, it was like, I don't really care. Or somebody said they're gonna do something, don't do it. At the end of it, you're still disappointed, but it lessens the blow when you expect that disappointment. You know what I mean? So that was the hardest thing for me to, like, to adjust to that disappointment. You know what I'm saying? And disappointment is consistent. Not just in life, period. Disappointment is consistent. But when your circumstances is what they were for myself and these brothers being incarcerated, the way I'ma face disappointment would be different from the way somebody free can face disappointment. And adjust to it and adapt to it, like, oh man, ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that was my challenge right there.
Understandable. Neighborhood wise man.
Let me clear my throat so I know. I love listening to these brothers, right? Because I'm sitting here trying to think, what was my challenge? And I guess because of me being an old soul always, and always been like a person who conquered the thing of mind over matter. Like, I always knew that, like, it's not that deep, because I used to try to connect it to say, that's why I said before last time, that a lot of stuff hit me on the back end, harder probably. Stuff that people went through in jail, I probably go through now. Not exactly, but in different ways. Because of that, because once I set my mental clock on something, it's just go from there. Like, I'm not a stressor. You know what I mean? I feel like it do come out in different ways probably. I don't know, like I just busy myself with different things, and I guess I can try to create the most challenge, even with my kids, right? Because I had children going to jail, and even with that, it was more like, okay, it's nothing. I'm not there because I can't be, because I don't want to be. Like my dad was for me. I'm not there because I can't be. So I knew that. Let me go back a little bit. I think when I was upstate, right, I only had 3 years. So I was always short in my mind. Like, it was a long time for me. But when you get to talking to everybody and I'm hanging with everybody else that got life, I'm short. So I knew, like, all right, I got a date. That's what people say, man, you better, like, the first thing people would say, look, don't ever walk around with your shower shoes on. Don't ever do this. They gave me all the rules. And they always would say, you don't tell nobody when you go home you got a date. So I think that I went through one thing early. My daughter was supposed to come up at the time, my middle daughter, my second daughter. She like 3, because actually she was my first daughter, because my first 2 kids was one night stand kids. No disrespect to their mothers, but I knew, like, you know, it wasn't on no whore joint. One was a virgin and one was a little sweeter than the other, but the condom boo. So we ended up having a kid. So my third daughter was my first relationship daughter. My third kid, I mean. So it taught me how to react to those kids. Now I was buying them, treating them like my kids, but I didn't understand what the connection of the pregnancy and this to that you build with somebody you in a relationship with. Like I barely see them while they pregnant. Yo, you cool? Is you gonna get an abortion or not? Or what you gonna do? Like, I don't really care, you know what I mean? I'm like, this is one night stand. So I didn't realize it, but when my kids came, because my father never was there, I was there for them. Absolutely. So I don't want to go away from the my challenge. I'm tying that into this. I guess what helped me is one time my daughter was supposed to come up, and the people who was doing the transport, whatever that you pay to come up, they did something and they didn't come. And I'm just waiting for the call at 11:30, 11:15. That's usually the time they come. And for the first time in my life, I shut down. And I went and laid in the bed for like, I noticed that they ain't called me at 11:15 on routine. They wasn't coming. So for like 20 minutes, I was sick. That was the low, and wallahi, man, that was the lowest I've ever been in jail. And I laid there, and I'm sick. I don't want to talk. I don't want to eat. But I'm a mind over matter person. You know what I mean? So I'm a factuality, a reality type of person. My reality is I don't have no control. You understand? So I never tried to challenge that. I know I'm going to keep within this. I'm going to make the best out of it. You know what I mean? So after like 20 minutes passed, I jump up. I'm like, ew, I got to get it together, because if I sit here and allow things that I can't control to make me feel sick like this, then I'm not gonna be able to survive this bed being happy, healthy mentally. And I think that transferring to this, like, I feel like like I said, my challenge is here. That at that point, it made me say, you know, I gotta protect myself from allowing myself to fall that empty. You understand? So from there on, I was able to always just muscle through whatever. All right, this is what it is. Okay, boom, 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 boom. And so I just kept going forward. Things happened, like he said, and I'm gonna piggyback off him, the disappointment of the people. I wouldn't call people, or I wouldn't allow people to say when they want, let me see some money. Nah, I'm cool, because I know you're not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Then now when I need to call, when I need to get out of the jail for a second, I can't get out of the jail. So I guess you could say I'm gonna use that as my challenge. right? And piggybacking off Waleed's disappointment and off what Pop said, the things that you gotta go through just adjusting to the different people. Some people, when we like, you confined to a space, whereas though it's people that you end up dealing with that on the street you would have never dealt with. That's what he mean. Some dudes be on super clown time, and some dudes, cause it seems like the weirdest dudes on the street, and they be super thorough. So you start connecting mentally, you know what I mean, with a lot of dudes. You like, man, you wasn't really in the in crowd. Might have a dude who just got a botched robbery because he's had a bad night one night, you know what I mean? But he wasn't really like, you know, back in the day it was different from now, where dudes, street dudes was a certain way, and you get to meet some dudes that you like, man, you start developing like, okay, I got more in common with people from the mental than I do from the occupation. You know what I mean? Just because we was both selling drugs, just because we both were shooters or whatever, you start to learn that, boom. So the challenge becomes, for me, is that I didn't want to never allow the disappointment nor the bad company into my space, because when you in jail, you become literal. So when somebody say, I'm coming to the yard, brother, I'm looking for you to be in the yard, especially when I stopped what I was doing. When I'm looking for you, say you not eating that chicken, that chow, or you giving it to me for a soup or a tuna, we going to go get that. Now you sold me out, you know what I mean? So when I call home and you talk about, look, I'm about to do this, like, I'm gonna tell you how damaging it is mentally, and you don't realize it while you're there. Like he's saying, like, yo, somebody like, look, I got this $100 for you. Like, nah, hold up, cause you know that this about to bridge a gap in our relationship. So that's the challenge, man. When, like you said, the disappointment of being let down. So now there's with women, with visits, with letters, with this, with that. You kind of like talking people out of stuff, cause you like, man, if they don't come through, I ain't gonna hear from them maybe for another year or so. So it's different challenges, but I think most of my challenges came on the back end. So when I'm listening to them, you know what's funny is that I can visualize what they're going through when they explaining their story. Because is it one of us in every jail or every few jails? Not to say, you know, and there's different levels, but for the most part, it's somebody kind of like can tell our particular story. Or I've been in since 16, 17, and I'm certified with life for 30, 40 years. Well, I came in at 22, and at the end of the day, we all end up losing the majority of our childhood. And that's challenging when you realize, see, like I said, because I'm a clock setter in my mind, a lot of stuff hit me on the back end. So this one wouldn't be as strong for me to say my challenges, because I busied myself. First, I was playing ball because I'm good at ball. I was playing ball, talking trash. Then I got into the religion. I occupied myself. I learned more about my religion. Because at one point, I was a Muslim who used to say, well, God, all religions is the same. God basically is like bringing out a good album. You got different genres. You got dance music, you got party music, you got sex music, you got slow songs, and you attract everybody. And I was Muslim. Then I used to say this, you know what I mean? And, you know, so learning to advance and understand the religion a little better and different challenges like that, I avoid it. Like he said, like I when I do something in politics, like I get in my bag. So I avoided a lot of those issues, but my story would be on the back end. And I've been 4.5 years, I'm still dealing with things I should have dealt with in jail. And I got away with it in there, but I can't get away from it out here, which probably is kind of worse. So I don't want to take up too much time, because you may ask me something that go into one of what I'm about to say. So I'd rather stop. But what they said, I supported 100%. And I seen it, you know what I mean? And you do avoid the disappointment or the confines of dealing with people who don't want to, because you don't want that letdown. It hurt when you care about somebody, your family, your home, and you like these people you believe in. Like you like, man, we gonna die together, or something happened to you, I'm going out on a kill mission. I might lose my life, and you don't thinking about it like that. You just down for the loyalty and the cause. And then when you call this boy, you say, man, I just need $25. I need some new socks and some boxes of this joint. And they don't do it. You know how that feel? So that'll drop you, man. So you gotta trick your mind up to get to a point where as though you can kind of cushion them blows. Like he did his different mind. I was able to conquer early, but he say he developed into it. But the comeback for me. And I if we get into those questions, then I could be able to really explain without over talking y'all, y'all strategy. So I apologize. I want
Oh,
to.
no, stop that. It's unfiltered discussion. Stop it.
You know, I don't mean no harm either.
Okay, so for me, I guess my question to you guys is, because then I'm gonna get down to matters of the heart, right? Relationships. I said like this, I'm gonna go around and then that's how I tell them my question. Going in, were you in a relationship?
Nah.
No, I mean, not really. I'm gonna put it to you like that. Not really.
Maybe, I could say I was, in a sense. I'll say I was more than he was probably then.
Okay. Well, it seemed like you had somebody, right? Whether it was serious or like whatever the case may be. How did being incarcerated affect your love life?
Yeah, this one right here, right? Like I said, it wasn't really a relationship, but it was something that I felt like it was like a connection, because, you know what I mean? When I fell, it was like, all right, I kind of feel like I was at what I consider my top of my game, you know what I mean? Because I was actually, doing all right in some aspects, you know what I mean? As far as like doing my number, and always got to think when I say I do my number, I don't know what anybody else do. It's always somebody that's doing better, doing bigger things, but considering what I was doing, I felt like I was doing my number with room to grow. And at the point, at that time, right, you know what I mean? It's always like, you know what I mean? In the street, basically like you doing all right, so you want to have people that support you in different ways, you know what I mean? Whether it be the women, whether it be family members, whether it be your homies, I mean, they gonna be behind you 100%, to the point where like, people really be on your line heavy. And then once you get locked up or whatever the case may be, like you said, maybe looking for that same support, because it was reciprocated when it was home. When it was home, everything was everything. So it was a situation, like I said, really, I never really had as I went to jail when I was 22 years old, and I was fairly just like basically just turning 22, and I was basically like I never had let my heart, really be, how can I say, I never really gave my heart to anybody at this time, because I never really understood what being in love was, any of these things, and being in a relationship was. Of course, when I was younger, I had a couple little relationships, but it's not like when you're grown, you know what I mean? So what happened is, I go to jail, and I got a couple, I got a couple women riding with me, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? And no, this is real rap. They start falling off. Like within a couple months. I'm talking about, man, they dropping off. You know what I mean? And I'm looking for them. They dropping off, but at the same time, we was just cool. So I was like, all right, that's cool, I ain't tripping. Now, it was this one situation I had, this one particular woman, and she basically like broke down the doors and made it her spot. So with this happening, I'm thinking like, all right, it's cool, like, all right, whatever the case may be, we gonna be all right. So the way she carried it was, she basically told me like, listen, I don't care what happened, I'm gonna be here for you. So I'm like, all right, and I'm telling her like, listen, at the end of the day, I'm getting ready, basically, I knew what I was up against. So I told her, I said, look, man, I'm getting ready to get some time, so, go ahead. Like, I don't wanna hold nobody up, I'm gonna be unselfish in this instant, because I don't want to feel like I said I had to do this to protect myself. But people will say what they say, this is gonna be all right, okay, cool. So basically, to make a long story short, the fall off occurred, right? And when it occurred, it was like I didn't even understand it, because I felt like, damn, like, you know what I mean? I had to even ask other dudes that was in there that, you know what I mean? They had things going on, and they was going through the same thing. Like with they baby mothers and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And these was established individuals, and I had to ask, I'm like, damn, like, why I'm getting treated like this? You understand what I'm saying? Like, cause I didn't understand it. I'm sitting there like, damn, like, when I'm a bad dude or something like that, I didn't even know I had to second guess myself. Maybe it was being locked up and all that stuff. Just at first initially hitting me, it was like me really like not really understanding how to deal with a situation being rejected because I've never been rejected. You know what I mean? Or I've never been played with in that manner. So that would cause me to say, you know what? All right, I'm never going to have my heart in a situation where as though it could be tampered with and played with. So now from this point on, you know what I mean? And this came after a little failed attempts with, rectifying the situation. It was a game being played. And every time, I'll be all in. I'll probably be about 100% in. And this may be 50%. Or it may be a joke. It may be something that you feel like when you want to feel like that, you're going to feel like that, and you're going to do what you want to do. So it really was like nothing there. It was a game being played, like I said. So at the end of the day, I said, you know what? This how I'm gonna eliminate this. I got the time. I already know what it's hitting for. I'm shutting down. I'm shutting this whole thing down because I don't got the mental capacity to deal with this. Especially not from this aspect, right? Because I'm fighting, trying to get back in court. Because this is all on the back end, so I'm trying to get back in to get the time back. And that's the whole burnout in itself. Because now I gotta really learn. I gotta be a lawyer. I'm saying I ain't qualified to do this, but I gotta learn. But I gotta learn about the law to, try to get myself out the jam because I want to go home. And this is the only way that you could do it. So basically, I took on the approach of saying, listen, man, I'm gonna just go ahead and shut down. I'm not gonna never let nobody have this right here until I'm ready for it. You gotta be a real special person. Somebody that can show and prove before I get this to you. Before I even entertain it. So that part of me had shut me down, and it was parts of me that, like I said, I used to look out the window at times, like when I was downtown, when I was down FDC, right? That joint right on 7th Arch. So you can literally look out the window and you can see what's going on in the city. So I'm looking out the window and I'm seeing couples walking. It might be on a Sunday when ain't nobody outside. There might be 2-3 couples out there just sitting down. Holding hands, doing simple things, and I'm sitting there like, damn. It's like now you start to really say, damn, I want that. This is stuff that I want in life. I want this type of companionship because you get lonely. And then further going on in the bed, it was you seeing this is brother right here. I used to kick it with about everything. And he kind of he definitely helped me through a lot of the situations, explaining things to me, right? That, like I said, I didn't understand. I always hung with the old heads because they could really give me, insight and understanding on things that the youngest couldn't really give me. The questions that I was asking and I needed answers to, I got it from them. So basically, it was a lot of little different instances where, I learned, about different situations and different relationships and how to gauge them and what to look for and, what made you happy and, having that person that, actually fulfill all voids. So when that situation came, it was a whole lot, it was later on, but I'm telling you, it probably had been I probably had 13 years in, something like that before I found and came across this individual, where once this occurred, it was like, man, even the dudes that I was with during that time, they said, listen, man, it's a change in you, you looking, basically I see a lift off. You get different highs in jail. Certain times you may go through certain things, and you might have the monkey on your back, like he was explaining in the last joint. I had the monkey on my back a couple of times. With the situation when I'm trying to get the time back and it ain't working out. I can end up getting extra time, it ain't working out. I'm getting railroaded. So, it's everything was just going wrong. And that was how I seen at that time. But the law is the best of planners. So at the end, right, even down to what occurred, it's kind of on my way out. Everything that I was looking forward to happened. I was like, mashallah, man, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will for me to even come home 8 years earlier. Find that person. The support that's needed is here. All these things, and this just all happened, and I really didn't see all this occurring. And even down, like I said, to going back to, that's one of the things I worried about. I always said to myself, man, coming home, I'm not just going out here, and slinging, because really, I learned, like I said, I practiced the religion, I learned, and I wanted to fear Allah as much as I was able, and then coming home out here right now, we know what's going on. Like, it's a whole lot of, it's crazy out here. Like, it's mad. It's like, it's crazy. So I ain't want to just come out this joint and just get myself into something that I couldn't get out. So I mean, you know, I say I thank Allah for just basically, I mean, you know, being put in a good space where my dua was answered, basically my supplications was answered. You know what I mean? You know, and everything came together. So far as that, like with the relationships, that's what it was. Like I said, I didn't have that foundation going there. You know what I mean? I didn't have that, but I'm still learning. And even over the period of time, I learned what I wanted. You know what I mean? I learned that I know I gotta soften my heart to certain things. I can't be a stone all the time. I mean, I gotta let myself love and allow me to be loved. You know what I'm saying? I can't let, I mean, whatever experiences that occurred prior to, or how I look at things, I mean, my first thought be my last thought. I mean, you know, and at the end of the day, it's like, it's a chance that you take, and that's everybody. Like, nobody know. I mean, because you can be in a situation and you think it's good, and then next thing you turn around, you see that this person really wasn't in your best interest. This person really wasn't good for you. But like I said, that's a chance that everybody really got to take when it comes down to that. You just can't be like, you know what I mean? You know, you can't be afraid of this. Like, you got to, I mean, you know, basically do your homework and everything and know what you want. And if that's what it is, then you go ahead and go on. Outside of that, as far as the relationship thing, that's basically what it was. Like, prior to, it was nothing. You know what I mean? During, it was nothing. But at the end, then that's when I really, like, allowed myself to, I mean, you know, be vulnerable in an aspect, and not vulnerable like a sucker, but in the aspect of saying, listen, I need you to teach me because I really don't know. And I know that if I don't know, then I gotta get it the way I learned it. You know, there's certain things that a man, I'm saying, your homie, I mean, you know, he can't teach you about a woman. A woman gotta teach you about how she need to be dealt with, how she need to be loved, how she need to be touched. So these are the things that I needed from a woman to teach me. You know what I mean? And how you get that is, you gotta be open, you gotta be vulnerable. You just gotta let her know, listen, man, I don't know, teach me how to love. Like my man, what's his name? Music. Like music. I mean, that's just what it is.
Start singing in the background.
That's real rap.
I hold myself back.
Don't do it. Yeah, that's real though. Like I said, man. You know, I know I do a lot of other things, but that's one of the things. Like I said, and I'm a person that I don't have a problem keeping it 100. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem keeping it 100. I'm like I ain't gonna say I'm an open book because everything ain't for everybody, but when it comes down to me dealing with you, and if I bang with you, I'm gonna say what I feel. You know what I mean? You know, and if I don't bang with you, I don't even gotta say nothing to you because it ain't even that deep. But if I bang with you and I got love for you and I got an inclination to you, then we wanna have effective communication. So that's basically that. What that was with the whole relationship thing.
I mean, no, I was a play. Nah, I was playing. Chocolate drop, you know.
Chocolate drop.
Nah, it was. I mean, I had females that I dealt with before I went in. I mean, you know, especially being 17, you couldn't tell me I wasn't that boy. You couldn't tell me. But going to prison, I was trying to hold on to that. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't really understand. Like, no, it's not that no more. Because my situation and my circumstances has changed. So me trying to hold on to that, it was, you know, females was like, oh man, you gonna be cool, this and that. And I was in and out of juvenile Jones. So it was like always a female that was writing me like, nah, I can't wait till you come home. Or, you know what I mean? But holding on to that, going to the big house, that ain't the same as the juvenile Jones. That ain't the same as the juvenile Jones. I mean, but so, you know, a relationship is like, all right, I know that going to prison, I was holding on to the fact like, all right, well, I know I need a female that I could call, talk to, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be around a whole bunch of dudes and hear these dudes. I need something, you know what I'm saying, to keep my mind, something feminine, something soft, a soft voice I need to talk to on the other end of that phone, outside of my mind. She ain't doing it. But holding on, that was like, man, you know, I ain't really, and then they fall off. We go with the disappointment, like, oh man, like, you know what I'm saying? So after that, years later, being young, I met a sister. All right, cool. So my mom she overprotective on her tip. Like, nah, I'm telling you, nah, you still young, you still. And I just be like, Mom, I'm in this joint serving 30 years. I don't need you to tell me about, you know what I'm saying, my love life. But what she was telling me, like, nobody know me as far as a female, like how she knows. She's like, man, listen, but I know you. And I wasn't trying to hear none of that. So I started dealing with this female, and we wound up getting married. So, me, I'm like, I tell her in the beginning, like, listen, like, I'm cool, you know what I'm saying? I got all this time, I don't really, you know what I'm saying? But it was me, on my end, it was all right, okay, I need you to tell me, you know what I mean, what I want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So if you tell me what I want to hear, like, oh, no, I got you. I'm like, nah, you sure? I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, you sure about that? Yeah, man, I don't care about the time. For real? Oh, I'm all in there. You know what I'm saying? I need that. You know what I'm saying? At this part of my bit, I need that. But a little while later, she came to see me. She told me she did something. That was like, oh no, that's dead. Ain't no coming back from that. So that right there, like, turned my heart cold. And it was like, never ever again. Even I'm like, now, never ever again will I allow myself to get back to being hard. I was heartbroken.
Absolutely.
I felt like a sucker. And I'm like, man, hold up, I'm thorough. You ain't hold up. You don't break my heart. So I felt some type of way. So now it was like, after that, it was like, oh no, like my heart cool. You feel what I'm saying? It was always, cause like I said, I'm one of them individuals. If you cross me, if you do me wrong, I harbor. Like it's not easy for me to let that stuff go. So like the wise man said, he said, you know what I'm saying, as far as the get back, the comeback. So my whole thing was, oh, I can't wait till I get home. So when you see me when I'm home, the situation gonna change. So anybody that turned their back on me while I was in there, anybody that I dealt with that couldn't withstand it, now that they see me now, it's like,
oh, you home?
Yeah, oh damn. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, damn, yeah. I'm like, yeah, damn. But it'll never, ever be nothing. Because I'm not never going to get over that, period. Because at my lowest, you left. Don't try to come down, you see me, and I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. Don't try to, no, it's nothing. And it's not just with a female, it's with dudes that I love too.
Absolutely.
Right.
So now that they see me, it's like, oh man, bro, don't come in for no handshake. I wouldn't try that. It's not giving that. Don't do that. But that's how it was dealing with as far as being in love and all that. Yeah, I thought I was in love. I can't say that that's what it really was. You know what I'm saying? Love ain't gonna make you do nothing like that. But now it's like, I'm a hardcore, and whatever way it go, that's the way it go. You know what I'm saying? Now females will tell me like, oh no, you just detached from, you know what I mean, being in love. Ain't that how you gonna hold everybody accountable for that? And I'm like, well, this is how I'm gonna safeguard myself. I build the wall, and I'm gonna stay behind that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm just cold to like, I won't allow myself to be vulnerable like that again. I won't let nobody get the upper hand on me to where they can just do me dirty like that. Nah.
I got something for that. I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, what age was you when that happened?
I started my son was like 24, 25.
How old are you now?
I'm 30 now.
And I'm not saying that is a time frame on anything like that ever. I'm not stating that at all. And I'm not gonna minimize your experience. But what I will say is that you home now, right?
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, yes, you gotta carry that because yes, you don't know what anybody's intentions are, right? But that comes down to when you start dealing with somebody and trusting them, right? You gotta open up piece by piece. You just can't carry them like, oh, I'm never going to love again. I'm never going to let a female close to me again, right? Because now you're cheating yourself. You let her cheat you out your spot again. The chick that hurt you in the first place, right? And then it's like, don't you deserve to be loved? Don't you want to be loved?
Absolutely.
Exactly. So if you're not opening up that door, and I'm not saying open it wide up because that's not a good thing for you to do, but piece by piece, you got to be able to open it up. But of course, it's not to anybody, it's to somebody that deserves for you to do so, right? So I don't know your relationship status right now, so I don't know if you're like really like building with somebody or just doing you, right? We ain't got to answer it on air because it's on air.
No, I mean,
What you was doing you for 100?
You know what?
Exactly. So you know, only you know really where you at with it relationship wise. But my thing is this: you came up out of a situation earlier than you thought you was going to come up out of a situation, right? So that's a blessing within itself. And at this time in life, yes, you deserve to be loved. You deserve to be happy. And yes, she did a number on you. I mean, who, especially in your situation, starting from you was locked up at 17, and you thinking, oh, I'm in love. I mean, that's with anybody. Everything, but it's supposed to teach you, right? It's not supposed to shut everything else down, right? That was a learning lesson, right? Your mom tried to tell you, but again, you know, I ain't trying to hear that. Like, you know, that's what we do, right? But you really, really got to dig deep down inside of yourself and do some work on you first, right? And allow yourself to open up to be loved, because it is a good feeling, right? I think everybody, you like to be loved.
I'm pretty sure I do.
He said he pretty sure he. Yeah.
She cool
You
blooded.
like to be loved.
Everybody let it be loved. I let it be
I
loved.
do.
Well, I know. How you doing?
You know, so you know, it's priceless. It's like it's something you can't even really put words on it, right? So you gotta allow yourself that, like you cheating yourself out of that at the end of the day.
I dig that. I just,
Cause I think you're a good person. I remember when I first met you, and I'm like, and just your actions, right? Well, what you did, I'm like, oh, he came straight through. You know, that's a solid one. Like, oh yeah. So I know that to be a fact, right? I'm big on like I know like this is a real one over here. You know what I mean? Like I know, you know, real people when I see them. So again, like a woman would benefit from dealing with a man like you. So you gotta allow yourself that, and you know, open it up, and it take time.
Yeah.
Cause like you said, listen, you did me wrong with your aunt, forget that. So you're the kind of person that holds on to that, right? Anything, the littlest thing, right? But you got to do some unwiring for yourself. I mean, because yes, we can hold on to certain things, but not that. Not that. Nah, you like, she's still getting the best of you. She ain't even around. She's still around?
no.
Exactly. So you got to let that part go. And that's the way I leave it at. Come on, neighborhood wise man, what you got?
It's hard not to piggyback on like that right there. Me and my friend, we talk about, I think that growing up, being in the streets and being in jail, you always hold people to a standard of, are you really going to be down for me when the chips are down? I don't want to go too deep into that because that could be a whole nother joint. But what I will say is on what she said, because two sides. One is you got to look at life going forward, right? As you're not planning on being back in jail. So the standards that was when we was in the streets and in jail and all that stuff like that, they had different standards. And so when you going into new situations, you know, because this is in us to be like, oh, I got to make sure you down for me through the ups and downs. You know, that's how we think, because when you coming through the streets, you know it's going to be ups and downs. And when you in jail, you know, like, look, I'm in the worst part of my life. Is you really down or is you not? You know what I mean? So, moving forward, is you change your lifestyle and you know that jail is probably not even I mean, it can always happen. You know, dudes got tails, anything. But I'm just saying, besides the obvious, moving forward is like, all right, let me change my conditions for why I want to deal with a person and start finding ways to see if you're beneficial to me in this life of mine, not the past life of mine, or what would you have did then, or that way you can start, like she said, tearing down layers and building and seeing that, seeing if this person is worthy, because it gotta be a worthy person, because it's a lot of, I don't like to disrespect women. It's a lot of unworthy women, but it's a handful of worthy ones, just like they say about us. So I feel like if you got somebody that you holding back, that seem like they got characteristics of worthiness, then you should give it a try. Not to say you ain't, but I'm just saying, you know, just piggybacking on her advice for your life now, for who you are now. Because the thing is, right, since I've been out the longest, is I told myself maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, I said, you know what? I'm gonna stop saying I just got, you know how we did. I just got out of jail 3 weeks ago. I just got out of jail 6 months ago. I just got out of jail a year ago. I've been home Nah, that stuff old now. Now it's about my life moving forward. I'm not even bringing that up no more because I'm not even gonna give you a reason to judge me off that. Because that's another me. You know what I'm saying? So if you can open up and move forward in that way, I mean, it's gonna take your time because now I'm gonna go to your side of it. It's gonna take its time, but you should open up and try. But for us though, and y'all women might not understand this, right?
What?
Get
to it.
No, I got to because they don't understand
Go
this.
ahead, I'm listening.
Go ahead, because you don't know.
I'm sure y'all don't. This is
All right,
almost 100%.
go ahead, put it out there so I can know.
Look, don't be defensive, but listen.
Oh, wow.
Go
ahead.
No, what I'm saying is I'm not saying nothing that can offend women. Like I just said, I try not to do that because I got daughters and mothers, sisters, whatever, nieces. When we go through what we go through, it's like me trying to tell you how being pregnant is and having a child, like in the trimesters that your body feel and face and all that. And I'm like, well, you only got fat, you just got to. You like, oh, I can never understand how it is to be pregnant, right? It's some things that we've been through, being a black young man in America, going through the hood and all the different stuff, losing the trauma. And some of this y'all can relate to, don't get me wrong. It's not literal, meaning every percent of it. But what the jail system does to you, and from a love, and I'm sticking to the topic, from a love standpoint, you get so hard. We already hard from the streets because I wasn't running around trying to be in love. I'm just hitting chicks, you know, young boys. We all went to jail early 20s except for him. I was 22 too, maybe. I might have just turned 20. I either just turned 23 or I was 22. No, we kids. We run around. Ain't nobody worrying about no serious relationship like that. When you older now, you really realize how foolish it was when you was 15 thinking you and a person was going to for the rest of your life. But the jail do something to you. The disappointment do something to you. The confinement do something to you. The letdowns do something to you. All this stuff affects you in a way. And it's not just coming from no girl. It's coming from moms, pops, relationships, aunts, uncles. This stuff put a seal on your heart to a point where it's almost, it need to be constantly chipped at. You know what I mean? And this seal on your heart, I don't care about love. I'm not looking for no love story. And I'm being honest, me. I can't speak for them. But all that I've been through since my pop left me while I was in my mom's stomach after they had a 3-year relationship, that was my first love that wasn't there for me that I should have been abreast to. Then things that I went through just being with me and my mom. I don't care. I want loyalty. I want to believe in you that you got my back through everything. I don't care if you love me. That's cool. That's okay. But I care more about knowing that I can trust you. Trust and loyalty mean way more to me than love. Love, anybody can love me. Love can come and go. No, let me finish just because this is about me. You might not feel this way. Yeah. I'm not speaking for the humanity when I say what I'm saying. I'm saying the way I feel, and on one part of what he's saying is like, yo, he might not recognize that he might feel the same way I feel. Like, you want love, of course. Like, if somebody love you, it's flattering and all that. But at a certain age, you like, all right, because I'm not going to meet olive oil. I'm Papa. I'll meet my olive oil at this point. The older you get, it get a little harder. Some people will. I'm not being literal, man. Don't take nothing. I'm saying literal. But this is how you feel. Like, maybe you can't get certain jobs, or you can't graduate college, or you can't, and your level of chick that you like might be at this level, and maybe who knows. But at the end of the day, you just want to make sure you secure. Because when you get let down over and over and over again, you go through so much pain, so much hardship, so much disappointment, and all this different stuff. Before you even can think about love, you want to make sure that somebody down for you and they got you, and they never can be tested mostly. Like for instance, situation you was just speaking about, when you said somebody came in at the back, and I don't know, you know what I mean. So since we on camera, that's put in the situation of being battle tested to a degree. Even though, because it could be argued like, well, your situation is a little different than mine. I was in a similar situation. So that, to a degree, that situation is battle tested. To a degree, the situation is battle tested. Yours is a little different because I seen my tunnel I seen the door at my tunnel when it happened for me. When it happened for you, you still didn't have a door. It was still a possibility. So that's two different tests, but they still is a battle that's tested. So a person can say, all right, I can open up because you showed me in my worst that you're willing to do these things. So it's easier for me to open my heart up to you a little bit more than I would the average person, because we looking at everybody like, yeah, you nice, but I had that before. I need to know if you got my back. I need to know if I fall on my face, because I got pride, right? You know I can't get a good job sometimes, right? You know I might have to do all hustle type jobs that build my bread up and get my spot. So I need to know that you might be attracted to me from the gun buster. Conversation might be good, but when we get in the trenches and you get used to me and I'm used to you and I'm out here with these hands, getting these hands dirty to survive, and I can't get it easy like somebody that you used to deal with or you just met, or somebody that's keep cracking on you now that you with me, wasn't worrying about you until you got happy with your man. So now you got all this attention coming at you wasn't paying attention to or wasn't coming. Is you gonna be loyal to me at that point? You feel what I'm saying? So these things right here is why a brother starts saying, you know what? I pick loyalty over love. And let me just jump into the small part that y'all asked. As far as me with love, I've never been a lover. Like, I've never been in love before. I have grown to love people, but as far as me just being in love, I've never been in love before. And if I have been in love, it probably with my children, because I don't, that's your kids. And, they all are your kids, however many you end up having, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, that makes up your heart. You feel what I'm saying? So I never been in love. One day, this is no lie, I was sitting in the TV room, right? 3 back-to-back songs came on. You know what I mean? I ain't listening to music, man. Mind you, at this point, I probably ain't listened to music in years. So they got 3, 4, 5 TVs up at once. So I see Jasmine Sullivan. She from Philly. I'm like, oh damn, that's young Jasmine from North. Look, now it's going to attract my eye. I listen, it's Lion, Tigers, and Bears. So I'm just listening. She like, I'm not scared of Lion, Tigers, whatever the song is. And I'm like, dang, that's how she felt about a person. No, this is no lie. Right after that, Maxwell, Pretty Wings come on. Right after that, Music Soul Child, So Beautiful come on. And then Kanye West verse, I believe it was on with him and the young boy Dream. And he was like, I'll walk down the sky for you. I'll pull down the mine and bring you one back. I'll walk through the moon, sun for you. I'm like, damn, I never felt like that. At that point, it hit me like, yo, them songs kind of simultaneously. I said all of these songs was about how much love that a person got for a person or want to pour into a person or whatever. And I'm like, yo, I never felt like that. You know what I'm saying? I never, and I start recollecting on the relationships that I had. Even the two that I say I use as a bar. I still use this when I was a kid at the bed. That shouldn't even count. But for me, it was about connection. So even with them, it wasn't about me being in love. It was about people that connect with me, because when you lose, I guess losing my pop did that to me. But I choose loyalty over love. And by me going and realizing I'd never been in love before, I said, man, that's crazy. And as far as the relationship, I had people who came and went. But I was kind of cool with that, because I know that when you doing double-digit years in jail, it's unfair for me to say, Shannon or Ashley, don't have sex with her all this time. You're human. That's not realistic. So I knew that this wasn't going to last, because I knew that one thing about a lot of times how men feel, stick be law. When you laying it down, the chick going to get sex done, stick drunk, you know what I mean? So
You know what?
you out there, you out there getting it put down on you now. The letters ain't coming no more. You feel me? You ain't picking that phone up no more. You feel me? Yeah, you ain't that business. You missed that business.
He said so many.
And that's how we see it. Like, all right, once you start smashing, because I was on the tip. Like, look, I don't care. Use the condom, you smash. Say that pureness for me. Like, but go ahead and do you. You know what I mean? Like when you feel like you need it. And I'm gonna end with this, cause I think I had, well, my kid's mom, I had too much drama from my first bid. You know, we was young. I wasn't perfect. She wasn't perfect. So that I can never look at her the same at that point. So I had another little young buck that used to ride with me too. And she told me one day, I used to always be pushing her away, because I'm not trying to get hurt. Like, I go back to the avoiding disappointment. And she said, right now, I'm not ready to go deal with nobody. We was having fun together. I'm still on you. And she came every week when I was fighting my case. And the hardest part is when the uncertainty is there. Once you got the certainty, it's hard, but I feel like for me, the hardest part is when you uncertain, because I'm a mental clock. So now I can't set my mental clock because I'm not certain on what's going to happen. I could get 30 years, I could get 20 years, I could get this year, I could that. I mean, this dude Pete had me thinking I can get life, and my case didn't even hold life. That's how serious this boy. He was one of them. I'm telling you, yo, like he was one of them. I'm like, damn, I'm about to get life. I wrote my mom and they like, Mom, y'all never hear about they about to trick me and give me life, Mom. Yeah, I mean, they like, man, this boy was like, man, you can't even get life. I'm like, oh damn, for real. You know, before you start studying law, you don't know. You just go off what people saying. But she just said, you know, I'm not ready to move on. She said, but I do. And this, like, I learned from women. I like listening to music. When I was listening to music, I like listening to them say how they feel, because even though I'm not good at loving you, being in love with you, if you teach me, I can make you laugh. I can be an ear for you to talk about whatever, your family problems, your girlfriends. I'm going to be an ear and I'm not going to judge you. So I was good at that. Was my strong suit beforehand. So that was my thing. But she did say this. She said, I do want to dress up. She said, sometimes I do go through nights when I just be like, I just wish she was home so I can dress up real cute. And you know what I mean? I was Muslim, but I wasn't deaning to the point I wanted to be married on a kid. I'm like, man, I'm just doing me. But she like, I just want to dress up for you, do my hair, and just come out and be cute for you. And she was breaking down a bunch of different stuff like that. Like, I just want to sit in the car and talk like we used to do and bust jokes. And that's when I realized, like, you know what? You need to move on, because you're not going to be able to hold that back while I'm doing this time. And you need to go ahead and go. And, you know, every now and again through my bid, you know, up until the end, you know, she popped in and out. You know what I mean? But I think it just come down to where you was at. Because a lot of us, man, like he said, we don't know how to love. And this kind of piggyback, this is one of my strongest joints that I try to tell women, like, you don't be afraid to teach us things. That don't be one of them women who assume that we supposed to just come with flowers, come with chocolates, come with this, come with that. If we really like y'all, we really into y'all, we really want to love y'all, we supposed to just have all the answers to what make y'all happy. Teach us. Because Wale, he might be Ronnie Romance. Like, he might be brown, or he might be good. Like, he might come with flowers. He might have copied off somebody before him. He might come with flowers, chocolates, a poem, some cards, and he might do this on a rag. Pop might be in the middle. I'm just saying, you got boys that's like that. And Pop might be a boy who just fall in love quick. Then you got dudes like me that just don't. I'm just cool and raw though. So you gotta be like, yo, I want flowers. I'm like, oh damn, they be doing flowers. Let me go get flowers. I might got a copy of Wale. Oh, he wrote a poem. That work? You know what I mean? So if y'all don't teach us, we don't have the guidance. So a lot of times in a relationship, especially from, like you said, coming home into a relationship, or us being away our whole 20s. I was away my whole 20s and 30s. I don't know how to be I'm not, you 21, 20, 19, you in a relationship, but you don't, when you come home and they're 40 and 39, and these women ain't playing. Like, they trying to live a real life. Like, they ain't playing. So you still on 20-year-old time. This where y'all gotta be patient with it, and this where y'all gotta teach us, because we need that type of help. And I just think that it'd be a lot of ignorance running around, because they get frustrated. Like, why you can't think of a restaurant this week? Like, oh, I don't even go to restaurants. That's your thing. I'm not worrying about that. Not that I don't care, but I'm focused on trying to build my brand or make some money or survive. You talk about flowers in a restaurant. Some of us will operate like that. You gotta just teach me. And then I know, like, all right, at least I know once a month, at least, I gotta figure out a restaurant she never been through. And we start adding that stuff to our game. Not our game, you know what I mean, but we start adding to ourselves by getting taught. You know what I mean? So that's it for me. But y'all won't understand the mental thing that I knew y'all thought I was gonna say something else, but I'm just saying the mental strain that the prison system put on you, and that dealing with thousands, like sometimes we need our own space. We gotta have a cave to go crawl into a hole, because when you dealing with cellies, like one stretch, like one 60-day stretch, I had like 50 cellies one time. You know what I mean? And you gotta think of the people who live with you in and out through the years you away. You just got cellies. So it seemed like I had to rotate cell. I'm like, man, I keep getting different cellies. But just that alone, psychologically, you gotta then adjust to these different personalities by the week, by the day, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? I done had cellies for 6 hours. I done had cellies for 2 days. I done cellies for 6 months. You know when you, especially now FDC. So you go through those changes. Then you gotta deal with the dudes you live with on the block day to day. Then you gotta deal with the masses of the jail, the people that might be at your job. So it's a lot to deal with. You don't never get a break. And where me and Pop was at, when you start coming down in custody, it's more open. So we start we went from, you go from being in a cell with one other dude, and you don't realize the cell kind of be better in the sense you can shut the door, get a little privacy. Now when you get lower custody, you in the dorm room. It's like no door on the joint, no roof, you know what I mean? You got bunk beds, then you got you in there with 2-3 other dudes on the other side of you, on this side of you, on that side of you. You never get a break. And that's another thing women don't understand. Sometimes y'all make everything about y'all. Our craziness of what we gotta go through might not have nothing to do with y'all. It might just be the fact that we've been dealing with all this nonsense and we just gotta find a way to run. Sometimes you just wanna run and just go be to yourself and just hide under a rock and just get a mental detox or relaxation, because you've been through so much, and it's hard for people to understand, because when you see us in our regular, and I'm just piggybacking to a person coming home, taking the question a little further, dealing with relationships coming home. When you see us in the regular, might hear us talk, and this is what we do, we politic. So we might have a hell of a conversation, so you think you regular, like, oh no, you cool. But you might not understand that even though he seemed cool, he still need a little space. He still need to mentally detox. He still need to go just find a room to just be in by himself. You know what I'm saying? Because it get overwhelming. You know what I mean? Because of all the things you've been through, then certain things start to get overwhelming. Like, last but not least, Pop, right? We was in BJ's the other day. And before that, we was in IHOP, right? And our other homie did about 15 years, gave some time back too. He laughing at him. Somebody hit us in the car, right? Some girl, she hit the front of us. So I'm talking to the insurance people, trying to figure it out, trying to do what I need to do. And they over there, and Pop looking at the menu, and he don't know what to get. So he laughing at him, but this is what we do to each other. Like, it's playing. It's not nothing literal serious. He laugh like, he can't make a decision. He can't make a decision. He don't know what he want. He gonna get whatever he else get. What you got? Give me that. You know what I mean? But he was just saying that, we all going through the same thing. So we in BJ's, the same thing going on. He like, I couldn't wait to go to BJ's. I want this stuff out of BJ's. Now I know I'm going in there for waters, so that's the only thing for sure I'm going to get. But I realized of him, I'm the same way. We can't make it, we figuring out what the hell. Like, we in the joint like it's a big commissary. Like, you don't know what you want. You like, man, I don't know what to get. You in there for an extra half hour because you don't know what to pick. Like, damn, should I get this? Should I get that? Almost like you can't get everything. You know what I mean? It's overwhelming. And those things people also don't recognize that we might go through on the mental, just might slip. Like, when I'm filling out forms on the computer, my brain just lock up. Out of nowhere, and it ain't like I don't know how to read it or what it is, I just shut down. So it's like so much we need, man, that we need coming back home into these relationships, that women gotta understand that it's not about them as far as some of our weird ways. You know what I mean? We out here cheating. Ain't no excuses for that. But
okay, he done said so much.
Oh yeah, I piled it on.
The fact that he kept saying y'all women don't understand.
No, I was saying the mental part.
I mean,
not
I
the
get what you're
part.
saying. And I'm not taking away from how you feel and your experience with certain things, but you know, it's all about communication at the end of the day. And sometimes, you know, especially if somebody don't know, is more so opening up and asking. Because some women may not open up their mouth and say, hey, listen, I don't understand why you're being the way that you're being. Like, help me understand, like, what's going on with you, you know? And it's more so like it's two-sided. It's not just one-sided.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day. So it's more so, yes, a lot of times women is called being patient, you know, trying to be patient a little bit and trying to understand. But sometimes we're not going to know if you don't say anything. So a lot of times you have a woman where, for me personally, I'm communicating this and saying like, what's going on, what's happening, what you got going on with, you know, and then you're still got this wall up or this brick wall and you don't want to open up or communicate. How would this person know? Because after a while, if you don't express the things that you've been to help a person understand where you coming from, so they can be like, you know what, I get it, I understand you. So what do you need from me in order for me to help you, you know, better, you know, deal with what you got going on at the end of the day. So it's more so a two-sided thing at the end of the day, but versus somebody just with a brick wall up. After a while, when you keep having that brick wall up and that brick wall up, after a while that person gonna move on. And then now you're wondering why this person is not sticking around, wondering why this person is moving on, because now they feel like they're not getting anywhere with you. You know, and sometimes these people are communicating this in best way possible, and after a while they didn't gave up because they're not getting nowhere. You're not even giving them wiggle room to even like get in here a little bit. So that's basically what I had to say regarding that. And the fact that you said loyalty,
Yeah.
that's one of the ingredients of love, loyalty.
Absolutely.
You know, love is patient, love is kind, you know, and there's a list of other different things that go along when it comes to love and the matters of the heart. So like you went from one thing to the next, so it kind of made me think like, then it's like you gotta be patient with it. Then a woman, you gotta show us because we don't know. So yes, if you got a woman that's trying to show you because you don't know, then that's grounds for you to let your guard down now.
Absolutely.
You know, loyalty speaks volumes, because how can you be loyal to somebody that you don't love? Like, I don't really understand that piece. That's
Let me
that's
see
why.
this. I never. The wall up was more about the
No, I
situation.
got what you're saying.
No, I want to say this because I never was saying, right, the loyalty part without love. Like, a person can love you. Like, it's not, I'm saying I may feel like you might, let's say a person might have love and loyalty for you, but what more so concern me out of the two, even if you couple them together, I'm not going to be like, say for instance, because I don't want it to be literal. You got a woman like, oh, I love you so much. You're like, I don't care about love. I just want loyalty. Nah, it ain't like that.
I'm just going on what you was expressing.
That's why I'm saying that. I'm going to clarify because I don't want it to seem literal. You're not going to push that in nobody's face. We having a discussion. Like, it's like being a fly on the wall for y'all. Like, we just having a discussion about people, the way people feel. But you're not going to tell nobody that's telling you that they want to be loyal to you and they love you. And you like, look, I really don't care if you love me or not. Just be loyal to me. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't.
Oh, okay, because I was just trying to understand.
Like,
because when he first started, let me finish.
But that wasn't what y'all.
I'm not looking for no love. That's why.
I'm saying, me personally, I'm not saying I'm not out there. I'm not from here looking for love. But I'm saying that if somebody was to love me, all right. This is what I had forgot to say, right? Because I'm a giver, there's always a lot of
I can't.
Nah, I gotta let you understand how I feel. For me, a person could buy me a pack of cookies. Oh, I'm gonna give you an example. I was working, some girl bought me 3 cases of waters, right? It was like she gave me $1 million. You know why? Because people don't give me stuff. I'm always giving and I'm never getting. So a person can do the smallest, buy me a sandwich, so I'll pay for the sandwiches this time. Oh, damn, that's big for me. And I appreciate that, the little things, right?
Yes.
Like you keep saying, right? But I'm talking about this could be a stranger. But on top of that, right? So when somebody give you the love and the loyalty, I'm not saying that we rejecting it. Like, dude ain't stiff arming nobody that got love for him. It's just the way I feel inside. I'm giving y'all an inside version of how I feel. But a person that's trying to love me, I'm not gonna say don't love me, just give me loyalty. I'm not restricting the love and loyalty or peace or patience or nothing. A person can do their best. I'm just saying, like, how this is like a conversation more so. Like, I care more about loyalty than love. But a person might couple their love with loyalty, like you said. There's no one without the two. Y'all may feel like that, and that's cool too.
That's why I asked
But I'm not gonna say like, yo, you love me? Oh, all right, cool. Is you loyal to me though? You know what I mean? But you know, I didn't want to sound like.
No,
Let me make that clear.
no,
I'm
I
glad you
understand.
said that.
Totally, no, because for instance, family members, they love you, right?
Mhm.
Out of default, but are they loyal to you, right?
Right.
You know, so I totally get that.
Yeah.
Because I could say I love you all day, but is your actions matching it?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So people use it loosely anyway.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Oh, I love you,
What happened?
but
Nah.
you doing X, Y, and Z to me. That don't add up to love, right? So yeah, the loyalty piece does top that, right?
Absolutely.
And then it trickles down into the love because then you start saying what they willing to do, what they not willing to do. You know what I mean? So no, I totally get that all the way around the board. So yeah, you just didn't word it the way that.
So I'm glad you clarified that. That's why I had to,
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so.
Go ahead, because I know I jumped up and get thing.
Oh, I already did. Look, he done jumped in and clarified it. And he said, let me finish, let me do this and that. But, it's expected,
It's good when you go to the tennis match. You volley in the back.
Oh,
there you go.
Because that discussion start being like a
no
debate.
questions for us.
Yeah, 'cause you know how he go.
No, I feel like Wally got some heat. Like I'm looking at his I'm feeling like he got some heat. He
But
just
that's why I
waiting,
mentioned that
patient.
piece too. Like, how would a person know how to deal with you if you got that wall up? Just it's okay to be vulnerable
I
sometimes.
feel like Wally over there, like
because that's extremely
licking his
important,
chops.
right?
Yeah.
Like, because the people may be under the impression like that we getting somewhere, right?
Right.
With Wally, like we
Mhm.
vibing, you know what I mean? Because I don't know. How can I say it? I don't know if you're like a lovey-dovey type of person. Like, I really don't know your style, right? When it comes down to your love language. So it's like, I don't know if it's kind of, because me, I'm big on friendship first, right? In my relationship, like, we got to be friends first. Because like you said, let me tell you about such and such. Let me see. You know what I mean? So that's extremely important, right? I don't know if that's a requirement for you, right? Some people just be like, oh, that's my significant other and that's it. But let me go call my girlfriend and my mom and them up to tell them, what went on. But for you, I don't know. I know you basically right now in a space where you're doing your own thing when it comes down to love and things. But are you like, because I don't want to say leading anybody on, right? Do people really think that dude is really digging me, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we getting somewhere. Like how do you tell it?
It can be based off of the mental conversation.
Yeah,
They
like
might think
they
that
think
they
that they
get
up on
somewhere.
the phone. Like you might be up on the phone with a chick for.
He would like to plead the fifth.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, cause most people, everybody weigh their stuff differently, right?
Yeah.
No, my thing is, I'm just me. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
That's all I know how to do is be me. You know what I'm saying? So, my mother most definitely taught me how to treat a female. I know how to treat a woman. I know how to make her feel special like a queen. You know what I'm saying? I know how to do all that. I know how to do all that.
I knew it.
But I'm just me though. I'm just me though.
But see, and that's the problem, right? Because
That
I
part
could be
right
talking
there.
to you, right? Now you doing me mixed signals. I'm thinking like, Dad, he bought me a flower. He doing
Yeah.
this. He when we vibing, like we on the phone. Girl, we talking about whatever, right? Like he like kind of my go-to. Like I can call him about a situation, right? If I was a female dealing with you.
No, I could be digging her.
Yeah. But the wall is.
But I'm still not gonna allow myself to be completely
Exactly.
vulnerable. I
That's
can't.
the-
So that's the part, like, yeah, that's like the mental part, like you vibing with somebody mentally.
So it's like
alone.
I'm thinking I'm under the impression that we getting somewhere.
We getting
Are we
somewhere.
getting somewhere?
Yeah, we getting somewhere.
You know what I mean? But then I turn around and we really not getting nowhere.
Then he like
Because
this.
I want to hit you with it, like what we doing.
No, all right. So
They said
Alright,
basically you
so-
like the boy that got two.
Let him elaborate.
no, so
One girl got no one.
Let the man elaborate.
no, it's like, all right. Let me see. All right, I could be digging somebody and all that, but I'm more so like I ride the wave. You gonna set the tone, I'm gonna ride the wave. So don't expect me to react. Like don't look for a reaction because I'm telling you, you're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get it. So you could do something like, oh, I forgot to call, or I said I was gonna do this, I ain't do it. Like, oh, you cool? What's up though? How you feeling? How was you? You know what I'm
So
saying?
you shut it down.
You're not gonna. I'm not gonna even allow myself. You know what I'm saying? That opportunity or allow you that platform to be like, damn, he messed up with me. Damn, he mad with me. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not giving you that. I'm not giving you
That
that.
is
because
deep.
Now my whole thing is, all right, well, man, you if I say I'm gonna do something, one thing about me, I lead by example, right? So if I say I'm gonna do something, you say, all right, call me such and such. All right, I'll call you. I'll call you when I come out. I go to the gym a lot. So they say, all right, call me when you get out of the gym. I might be in the gym. Somebody may call me. Yo, I'm gonna call you when I leave the gym.
Mm-hmm.
When I leave the gym, yo, look, I left the gym. I'm about to get in the shower. I just wanted to call you just because I said I was gonna do it. So I wanted to
Absolutely,
call
you're a
you.
man of your word.
You want me to call you when
Okay.
I get out of the shower or something like that? Oh yeah, why you don't just get in the shower? Because that's not what I said I was gonna do. So now, I'm not really tripping if you don't reciprocate that same level of energy. I'm not mad.
But is she X'd out without knowing she's X'd out?
That part.
The fifth, no. No, is she? No, but it's more so like, I still keep a mental note like, all right, well, cool.
She's X'd
I
out.
would never
without
expect
saying
it.
she's
No,
X'd
I
out.
just would never expect it. She's not X'd out. Like, I ain't gonna look at her like, oh no, you done.
But to a degree, she's done, right?
To a
Because
degree,
you
it's
carry
like-
it on certain levels, right?
Yeah, to a degree, it's like, all right, well, my expectation is like, it's already like, all right, I'm not really tripping. Like, you setting the tone. So now it's like, damn, like, so I was talking to a female and she was like, well, damn, I'm saying, listen, I don't mind being by myself. I really don't even care about all that other stuff. Like, I'm cool with being by myself because I embrace my shadow. I befriended my shadow. I know who he is. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep.
So we cool. You know what I'm saying? So I love being by myself. So her response to that was, well, damn, it makes sense. That's why you like the way you are. You're just nonchalant. I said, not that I'm nonchalant, but I'm just not going to allow nobody that platform to disappoint me ever again. I embraced my shadow because I knew I can count on him.
He never left
He
you.
not going nowhere.
Absolutely.
He ain't going nowhere. He was always
Yeah.
there. I just couldn't see him at first.
That's deep.
So because of
I love
that,
it,
now my disposition now that I take is like, whatever. I can like you, I can dig you and all that. But it's more like, all right, cool. You know what I mean?
Somebody gonna break
That's
down
what
that
I'm
wall.
saying about the
That-
mental.
And the
Yeah.
the
That's what I
crazy
mean.
thing
Oh,
is,
absolutely. No, I get it.
but the way he moving, that shit, I'm gonna say it like that. That's gonna happen when he least expect it. He gonna
Yeah,
look
when
around
he
and be
look like
like,
a Tom
No, but the
Brady.
crazy thing is we all probably feel like that.
yeah,
absolutely.
oh, we have
Like-
felt like that before.
No, I'm talking about us as the coming home. Like
Yeah.
you feel like that. Like all right, like
Yeah.
you're not tripping. Like ain't nobody about to break your heart because they're like, oh, I'm out. You know, oh, all right.
But the least expected is the thing, and I know
Yeah,
people
that's-
can relate to
But
that.
you,
least
when you
expected.
always been let down, it go back to see if you dissect this joint to the disappointment, to the confinement.
Yeah, that's
where
what
you
we.
get it
That's
from.
all of
Yeah,
this comes
most
from.
definitely.
All of us can feel the same way because it's like
Yeah.
this ain't nothing new. Like just because I'm on the street don't mean I'm gonna trust that you gonna be there or you gonna. So if I'm
Yeah.
feeling like you, cause you wanna like. We literal, like I was saying about somebody say we coming to the child, we coming to. So if you on the phone and you tell me something literal, I'm expecting the literacy of it. So now when you feel a vibe off, you already know that's just like somebody about to stop right. You like you all like, oh, I already wait that joint. I already
what's
know.
gonna happen.
You already know
I
what's
made
gonna
that
happen. So
over
you
for.
make yourself, you protect yourself from, like he's saying, from his heart against
yeah,
you.
we not minimizing that
No,
by any means
No,
necessary.
I'm not saying y'all.
No,
doing
I'm
that.
just saying like we're not minimizing it by any means necessary, and we're also aware that comes along with what he's been through. So a lot of the times we know that our experiences shape how we are in our behaviors and how we think and how we move and how we operate at the end of the day. So that might have been something that was very detrimental to his emotional state. So now he feel like no, like
If I could be talking to a female, quite a few females I've been probably dealt with when I came home. But sometimes I'd be like, just look at her. They'd be like, damn, what's wrong? I'd be like, nothing wrong. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, it ain't about to happen. So I could be really digging that person, but like I shut it like I kind of like shut it down in a way,
yeah,
and it's so programmed that now it's unconscious.
yeah.
I'm doing it unconsciously now because I'm thinking, sure, like she a thoroughbred.
Self-sabotaging.
So now it's like, yeah, she
Yeah.
thoroughbred, but in the back of my mind it's like, yeah, she thoroughbred. Nah, not again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I know
when I
what you're
sit and I stop, be like, I look at it like, damn, why you looking at me like that? I'm like, nah, you good. But in the
They
back of
better
my mind,
watch
it's like,
this and know when he look at
No,
you,
no,
you're
you
done.
good.
It's a wrap.
I do
You
that.
probably got a stamp, get done.
You know what I'm saying? I do that. Even when dudes that I'm talking to, I listen to them, and I'm like, because I'm not no real big talker, but when I do talk, I try to make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't talk a lot, but when I do talk, I want it to make a lot of sense. So I sit, so when dudes talking, I be in the back of my mind, and it could be somebody that years ago did something. I be looking at them I'm like, man, what's up, man? I'm like, nothing. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, you don't even know. You done.
You're dangerous.
That and the way he looking like, no, like
But it's-
look.
But
I
with me,
get it, but
with me, I'm
you
not
a
gonna-
silent,
He
like
a
a silent killer.
That's
That's dangerous.
That's lethal
right?
right there now.
Not that it's a bad thing to have, but that's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
I don't, it don't feel like that. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all know y'all don't feel like that. Because
I mean, no,
I
I
mean,
didn't do that to you. I made
Nah,
sure
but
I
no.
know.
Sure I
look,
I'm staying clear.
I
ain't
know one
doing
time.
nothing to
I know
you.
one time my man was
look,
like,
you want
"Nah,
a cup of
look,
tea?" He got the chop out like, look.
No, it's not like it's listen.
No, I know we
let
all
me say this.
He's saying real
Let me
stuff.
say this.
No,
Let
I
me say
dig
this.
it,
Right?
though.
Let me say this. There's levels to it
Oh, yeah.
because everybody in my life then let me down at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But there's levels to what you're going to come back from and what you're going to accept and what
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to accept.
Mm-hmm.
So with me, I'm very formal. You know what I'm saying? I'm very assertive.
Yeah.
So I let you know where I stand at, and I let people like
I can respect
I would
that.
be in prison, and I tell dudes that I don't. You know what I'm saying? Dudes that I let me be okay, cool boy, but I let him know from the jump. And Pop will tell you this. I let dudes know from the jump in front of everybody. Yeah, I deal with you. You cool. Don't ever cross me. They be like, damn, why you coming like that? Because I'm letting you know it'll never be good. I'm not threatening you or nothing like that, but I'm telling you, ain't no coming back from that. Don't do that because I love hard, but I think that I hate hard.
Dig
I
up.
like that. I like
I
that
like
one.
that. Mhm.
Okay. I love hard, but I hate harder. Okay,
Mhm.
I like that. All right, so you got something?
Oh,
Or you
no.
want me-
This was good. I you know I like to listen for real.
Oh,
for real.
Lord.
Cause you cutting us off in the back of your mind.
Oh, that's
I do that
You want angles
sometimes.
too?
I get what he.
Man, he ate too many pieces of candy. I'm done with the wise man. Nah.
So my question is, like, what do you guys feel like is like the biggest misconception people may have about men that went to prison, that's in prison? Like, what is the biggest misconception? That, because we all could look up and make up 50 different things about y'all, right? To me, do I feel like everybody that go to prison is a bad person? Absolutely not, right? No, of course you can't. Of course I'm not talking about rapists and none of that kind of stuff or pedophiles. I ain't talking about them, right? That's a duh, like, it's plain to see, right? I feel like a lot of guys like in y'all situations that, you know, do go to prison is a, you know, bigger reason behind it, right? I don't think that it was just a choice. Oh yeah, I'm gonna wake up today and I want to go to prison, right? It was more so environmental factors. It was more so, you know, figuring out and finding a way throughout life, right? And y'all go in, and I feel like a lot of people that's in prison is smart, right? Y'all got y'all business minded individuals, right? I always say that, hey, if a hustler could come out and use that same stuff they used to sell it what they sold, they'd be lethal, right? So that right there, I know to be a fact, right? So what do y'all feel like is the biggest misconception people have about people that go to prison?
I mean, like really, if you want to look from back in the day and comparing back in the day and now, it's like back in the day, I want to say 20, 30 years ago, whatever the case may be, man. Like a lot of the stuff that like incarceration was definitely frowned upon. You know what I mean? It was frowned upon because of the simple fact that you know what I mean? You know, everybody had a cookie cutter way of what they felt you should be doing in life. You know what I mean? You know, in advances and the chances and things. Like everybody, like when we was coming up, they always was like, go to school. I mean, go to college. I mean, get a degree, do all this and do all this and do all this, right? And you'll be successful in life. However, it's like that's furthest from the truth. All right, because you got college kids that have degrees, but they still struggling to pay back their student loans. You know what I mean? Whereas, you know, where we come from the muscle, like we come from the dirt. And it's like coming from the dirt, you don't really realize how many chances that you have because you got this whole atmosphere around you, right? Where you can come up. You know what I mean? You know, like you can come up from the mud, literally. Like everything is at your fingertips, right? You know what I mean? You know, if you want to get into the mix, I mean, as far as like getting into the game, you're gonna be in the game, even though we know that's not long-winded, but you got other opportunities. You got the properties. You know what I mean? You got businesses. You got everything that, you know what I mean, you know, really can suffice you in life. You know what I mean? You know, financially, right? So going back to the question, like back then it was like always a certain way you had to do certain things. But now the world is so desensitized to everything that's going on, like far as violence, far as everything. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to look at, like look at the politicians. The majority of the politicians that have been in jail and came home, got right back in, you know what I mean, you know, position and started doing what they was doing. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's looked at as a bad thing. And then when you look at what's going on in prison, like you said, you got people that's getting degrees. You know what I mean? You know, you might be in prison with a hedge fund. I mean, you know, he might have been the head of a hedge fund that took millions and millions of dollars, like billions of dollars, and you sitting and you get to sit down and talk to this man, and he gonna give you the game on something. And he gonna give you the right way to do it. He gonna tell you, listen, I did it like this, but don't do it like this. Do it like this. And this, if you do it like this, you're gonna be successful, and you get that game from him. So it's all type of shoulders to be rubbed nowadays. Whereas though when you go to jail, you go to prison, or whatever the case may be, whatever type of situation you go in, you can come out a mastermind of all sorts. So now when you come out with a mastermind, you got stuff that you got locked in, that people that work at these, I mean, you know, and went to college for these years and trying to accomplish, I mean, a year annually can't even accomplish. You did it without a degree. You did it just from, I mean, you know, rubbing shoulders, kept getting the game, I mean, you know, paying attention, your street acumen, all these different things. So all these things was ways that, I mean, you know, you actually utilize in prison to come out and be on top. So that's basically what it is. It's like, I mean, you know, now I see it as an even playing field. I don't really think too many people have anything negative to say about people coming home from jail, because a lot of the jobs is hiring convicted felons. I mean, you know, it's more chances now, whereas, like I said, back then, you was frowned upon, like, I mean, even in corporate America. But it's a different ball game now, because everybody got their hands dirty. Like, everybody that's supposed to be clean, I mean, you know, you see them some way, somehow, is getting their hands dirty. You know what I mean? You know, whether it's from the past, whether it's from the present, whether it's from getting a second chance. And people like, I mean, you know, you can't define me by something that happened years and years and years ago. Now, if I continue to do it, then yeah, that's just what it is. And then I got to deal with the decisions. I mean, I got to live with that. I mean, but as far as coming out here and, you know what I mean, you know, you applying some other stuff that you done learned and making it happen, then that's what it is. Like that, even the playing field, and sometimes it project you and push you further forward, because people can't really get on your level when it come down to the stuff that you learn in them joints. Like them joints is battlegrounds. Like they gonna even make you worse, or they gonna even make you better. You know what I mean? You may become worse if you don't do nothing with yourself. Like you might go in that joint and watch BET. They had a thing like what dudes used to say, man, BET, MTV, no GED. I mean, VH1, all these channels and stuff, you just focusing on that. But when you go in that joint and focus, you know what I mean, you actually look at, you know what, I gotta make myself better. You know what I mean? And you know, everybody going in there for the same thing, man. Everybody going in there for money. I don't care if you sold drugs. I don't care if you took, you mean you did white collar. I don't care if you robbed banks. Everything go back to money. People chasing the money. Like, that's what it is. In life, everything that we did is for the money. Maybe a little bit for, I mean, you know, the fame and other things, but it's for the money. It's for survival. I mean, it's to basically be able to take care of yourself and your family. That's what it should be for. So when you go in these, you go to jail, that's what it is. So, all right, I know that if I'm going to get 30 years for selling a narcotic with a crime on 50 time, I mean, we know that the harm outweigh the benefit. However, I might be right next to this little white dude. He might be 5'2", got Coke bottle glasses. Yeah, I mean, you know, and he didn't press the button. It took millions and millions of dollars. And he gonna give you the game on how to do it, if that's what you want to do. Like, or you might link up with somebody else that, I mean, you know, he can actually show you the right way to do some investment properties. Whatever the case may be, so many talented different people in there. Like, you literally be amongst some people that's really, I mean, you know, extravagant. And they never been around you, but they learn you. Like, it be some people that, I mean, you know, they may be of another race, but they get around you and understand you. It's like, damn, the perception I had about you the whole time is different because I'm only going to what was perceived from me. I mean, you know, what was basically portrayed for you from you dudes in movies and in the news. And I mean, you know, just I never went to your neighborhood and none of that, but I find you very interesting. You know what I mean? And I want to help you out because I see you got a good head on your shoulders. You know what I mean? You know, you keeping it real. You ain't around me because you know you can get something from me. No, but you actually around me and I like you. I mean, because you keep it real. Everybody is not the same, but they the same. I mean, you know, what I mean by that is people all are driven by something. I mean, you know, whatever the case may be, you might got a suit on, but you still a crook in certain ways. You might got a lot of money, but you still want to take more money because it may be greed or it just may be your drive. Like, you know what I mean? You know, you got rich people that they so driven that they don't never got to work another day in their life, but they gonna get up and work and keep trying to keep adding on and adding on and adding on and adding on because this is what their life is like. This is what they feel as though this get me the way it get me at. This is what I need to keep my motor running. This is my modus operandi. This is my MO. So it's kind of like you be systematically, like we got a thing called burnt out. You know what I mean? And burnt out as far as being in jail is like everything is systematic. It's not like a negative thing, but it's systematic. It's like you may do something a certain type of way. You may sit your chair a certain type of way. You may open your water a certain type of way. You may eat your food a certain type of way. You might get so caught up where, I mean, you know, like I done seen some of the craziest things where dudes be burnt out, but it be systematic. So that's just the modus operandi. So when you come home, it's like, my thing is this. Nobody can really tell me, I mean, anything negative about this experience. I mean, you know, as far as like me, I mean, getting back on track because I done seen people come home and surpass people. You know what I mean? They've been out here for years. You know what I mean? Been out here, and it's like, all right, you may come home and you may need a handout, but these same people, I mean, you know, that's out here, they've been out here for years, they gotta turn around and ask you, and they're gonna be asking you just because it's what it is. So, like, it's the playing field is even now. So, as far as what the people perceive about people coming home from jail, I don't think that really they got a lot of stuff to stand on unless you really just not doing anything. Because it seemed like everybody that came home from jail, they either, they was trying to, they basically put their foot to the ground, they doing good. Or even if they in a mix, they in a mix. You know what I mean? But for the most part, everybody that's coming home, I mean, you know, they doing their thing. They want to do their thing. It's all about what you want at the end of the day. So I wouldn't even get caught up on how somebody perceive me because I know what I'm capable of doing, and I'm going to go and do what I got to do to get where I want to get it. And that's what it is.
I understand that.
The biggest misconception, I believe, is people expect that a person coming home is still the same person. No matter how much progress you made, no matter how much progress they witness you make, they still feel like, and I'm just basing it off my own experience, they still feel as though you're the same individual that left. You could have been gone 13, 15, 20. And I say that because you can take a guy that did X amount of years in prison, let's say 10 years, and he come home, you know, his whole demeanor changed, but it's still somebody around that's gonna be like, man, you still that same bull. Yo, I got this for you. I know you say this ain't what you want. God tells you I'm not in the streets no more. Like, I ain't. So the first thing you give me is a gap and some work. I told you I ain't on that no more. So you testing me. Just because I ain't on that no more don't mean that I ain't still enticed by it. I can't be enticed by it. Don't mean that the desire still don't exist or the essence of the desire still is, you know what I mean, a remnant. It's still there. But you trying to, you know what I'm saying? So, and along with that, people would think that because you're the same person, all is forgiven. Like, oh man, that's my man, you still my man, I know but it's not like that no more. You know what I'm saying? And when an individual come home from prison, you gotta respect the fact that he's trying to get reacclimated. You gotta give him that space and that time that he needs. Like, you can't bum rush him. You know what I'm saying? You want to have a conversation, but you gotta have a conversation on his time. Because the way he react, you might not like it. Or the way he gotta adjust to a proper reaction, because now he's so caught up on reacting the way he used to react in prison. And a lot of people, like I said earlier about being assertive, a lot of people misunderstand assertiveness with aggression, and it's not the same thing. It's two different things. You know what I'm saying? So being like that, and you have that assertive nature, it's like, oh man, why are you so aggressive? I'm not being aggressive. There's no aggression, there's no hostility, there's none of that attached to what I'm telling you or my reaction. But I'm being assertive, I'm letting you know where I stand at. But because of what they're so used to, and they so used to everybody coming, people coming home, not everybody, people coming home, and don't get me wrong, people do come home the same. People do, and like, oh, matter 20 years, 30 years. Because I know individuals that did a 30 years straight, went home and came right back months later with another 30 years.
Yeah.
Or gave life back, came back with 2 life sentences. So people do come home the same, and the streets is used to that. They're not used to somebody coming home with a degree. They're not used to somebody coming home with an LLC already coming out the door with their name on it. They're not used to somebody coming home already, you know what I mean, doing things, and they seeing people like, hey, he just came home, he doing this. Or he been home 6-7 months, he doing this already. That must see, you know what I'm saying? They're not used to that. So when they see that, they don't know how to react to that. Because the rule of nature, we fear what we don't know. What we don't understand, a lot of times we fear. So we fear change. And that's just not personal. It's, you know what I'm saying, external, dealing with people that's around you. They don't have to be going through the change, but they can see somebody that they love, or so-called love, or used to being around, that's going through a change. They don't like that because they know everything changes. Not just them, everything changes. So then I know if he changing, I know he ain't gonna be around me because this is the type of time I'm on. He ain't on that type of time no more. So let me try reeling back in. And it'd be unconscious. So you come home and a lot of people be expecting you to be on the same type of time that you was on. Like, oh no, I know, you know what I'm saying, that's my man. He gonna remember that we used to do this and that, that and the fourth together. So we gonna be cool. Like the other day I had a situation where a dude that I basically was up under me. I mean, we was all young, but they was a little younger. And I might have been doing a little more absent. And I'm like, you know, y'all know me, man. Y'all know me. You done.
You pulled the weapon out.
You done. Look, yeah, I pulled the axe out. So it was like, he came to me, and the first thing he said out of his mouth was, damn, man, you mad at me?
You know it. Yeah.
Why you gotta, if you feel as though you in the right or you ain't done nothing wrong, why you asking me, am I mad at you? Again, me, I ain't mad at you, my man. But you already set the tone. Let's keep it there.
I like that.
Let's keep it there.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at you.
Oh no.
I'm not mad at you.
Real talk.
I'm not going to allow you to occupy that space. I'm not going to give you that. I'm not mad at you. But I wouldn't try to shake my hand though. I wouldn't try to shake my hand. Listen, wallahi, I cannot make this up. This is fact. I'm telling you what really happened just Friday. And I'm like, yo, listen, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Not that I'm going to do something to you, but I know you're not going to like my assertive response that you're going to get. You're not going to like it. So because he was so caught up on, no, that's my man, you know what I'm saying? We used to do this, that, and the fourth together. We blase, blue. He kept coming. I'm like, listen, I just told you, my man. Go ahead. So I'm not going to get too deep into that. But it didn't go the way he expected it to go. And he looked salty after that. But like I told you, I'm not who you think I am. You don't know me anymore. I've been gone 13 years. You don't know me no more, my man. So respect the fact of what I'm saying. Because you don't know what you're gonna be faced with when you try to keep pressing. I don't know you and you don't know me no more. What we once was is not that. You know what I'm saying? What we once had is not that anymore. And I think a lot of people be feeling like it's supposed to be that just because of history. No. It's not that. And that in and of itself is something that, like I said, it takes some time to adjust to. Like, just like people coming home gotta get reacclimated and adjust. people out here also have to adjust and get reacclimated to you being out here. And I think that's what be missing when they trying to deal with you. Even down to parents. Mom, Pop, I've been gone, y'all don't know me. Y'all really don't know. I'm not that baby boy no more. You don't know me. So get a chance to know me. Like, let me teach you how I am now. But because everybody used to deal with you a certain way, now when they start to deal with you in a certain thing that they can't do, you're not going to allow anymore. It's like, well, damn, he acting weird. And he too hard up. But I told you from the jump, like, you don't know me. And I'm being honest with you. I will be lying to you. And I'll be shortchanging myself if I came to you like, no, you know what I mean? That's cool. No, that's not cool. That's not, don't do this. I'm telling you, don't do this.
Advocating for yourself.
Right. You got some clear boundaries.
You gotta have
Absolutely.
It has to be an understanding when you're dealing with people. You know, and that, like, I feel like the biggest misconception is a lot of people expect you to come home and that you're the same person, and they neglect to consider what may have taken place. Right. What has evolved, what has progressed, what has regressed, and whatever fashion it may be. But you don't give that, you don't open that window for that to just naturally come. You can't force me to be on your type of time because I'm not on your type of time. You know what I mean? I'm not on your type of time. So that's one of the biggest conceptions I face and that I deal with out here. You know what I mean? And so now just, I be by myself. I go to the gym by myself. You know what I'm saying? I ride, drive by myself. You know what I mean? I don't look for that because I don't need that. I'm cool the way I am. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't need nobody driving passenger seat. I don't need nobody in my ear all the time. I don't need that. I'm cool with silence. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at. You know, because the more you try to deal with somebody, the more they try to test the waters and really see where you at. And don't take it for face value. Like, man, I'm showing. I'm not only showing you, but I'm not only telling you, but I'm showing you. And you still trying. So now now you ruffing up my feathers. Like, come on, like, why do you keep doing that? You know what I mean? Why you doing that? You know what I mean? No, I'm saying, like, why you doing it? I'm showing you what type of time I'm on. You gotta respect that and accept that.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I said, I was telling somebody the other day. I said, listen, I'm to the point now where people can't get me. Like, you can't get me mad. It's easy to just be done with somebody, but you're not gonna get me mad because now it's like, why would I be mad at you for teaching me something? You understand what I'm saying? I'm not mad at people that turn their back on me. I'm not mad at people that cross me. I'm not mad at them no more. For years I was mad at them, and I know what it did. 7 months at a time in the box. You know what I mean? To the point where you coming out the hole, and I go down the building, and I'm like coming out. Come from the hole. Like, I had to put my hand up because I wasn't used to the sun beaming in my eyes. I was in a hole. 7, 8 months. So I'm not mad at them no more because that's what being mad at them got me. So I'm not mad at you no more. And when I see him, I just thank him. So I told him, I said, at the end of the day, I told him, I said, man, I want to thank you, my man. I ain't mad at you. And he was confused. I'm like, the reason why I'm thanking you, not because you know what I mean, anything, you know, but I want to thank you because you did me a favor. You showed me who you really was, so I can't be mad at you for exposing what was already there all along that I just couldn't see. So I'm thanking people now instead of, you know what I mean, being mad. I ain't mad at you. Thank you, though. Females,
like that.
Man, thank you. I appreciate it. You taught me something.
Thank you. You're done.
Yeah,
You're done.
Thank you. Thank you for what you taught me. Not what you taught me just about you, but what you taught me about me. You know what I'm saying? So my tolerance is like real low. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm letting you know who I am, what I'm on. If you can't get with that, see you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna walk away. I ain't even gonna give you opportunity. I'm gonna go ahead and slide off. So I'm just
No, you leaving.
So I'm to the point that's the biggest misconception. Even females. Like when I came home, and I don't want to be too long, but I came home and the female say, yeah, you looking for me? No, for real though. But the female say, yeah, you looking for me? I was on the phone, I was like, looking for you? Not at all. I'm not looking for you. Why would I said, why would I be looking for you? You already missed your opportunity. I'm chocolate drop. I don't look for nobody.
Yeah, man.
I'm chocolate.
I drop in.
I knew.
You know?
I drop in.
I'm hollering, yo.
I don't look for nobody.
Yeah, no doubt.
Everybody loves chocolate.
Yeah, man.
But for real, that's the biggest exception. Like, why would you feel as though I'm looking for you? I'm not. What we had, it'll never be. Like, it's nothing. And I accepted that. But again, like I do, thank you. Thank you. So that's the biggest misconception. Like, people be expecting you to come home at the same type of time, or that, like, you're the same person, and they don't know how to adjust to that. And they don't give that the proper time and the window in order for both parties to adjust to each other. And it's dealing with family, ex-friends, friends, or whatever the case may be. It's dealing with everybody.
Yep, I agree with 100%.
Thanks.
Neighborhood wise man, come on, what you got?
I was enjoying them brothers.
He's funny.
Nah, cause it's funny in different ways how everybody kind of feel the same and handle it in different ways. So just constantly, this is the good thing about this. Like us building in the yard. You know what I mean, laying in the yard. No, see, cause I live, but now I feel like. So the question is personal. What you feel like the misconception was to me personally or in general?
Personally.
I really don't know, man. Like, I guess that for me, is that because I've always been one of those like street smart, common sense, book smart boys too, good grades and all that. I always knew. I was like, what's crazy? People don't I'm gonna say the biggest misconception is not valuing what you may be going through since you've been back home. Because I was one of them people that knew everything, like not knew everything, but like I was before books, before you could just Google something. I was a dude could tell you about a plane engine. Like, how you know, you on the streets all day, how you know about a plane engine? Because I was one of them people since I was a kid that if you was telling me about something and I was interested in it, I'll go learn about it because I don't like to be in a conversation and I don't have no clue what you're talking about. So you got one time to talk about something that I'm not sure about. And if I'm intrigued by it, I'm gonna go learn about it. So now, if I'm ever in that conversation, I say, "Oh, I was talking to Shannon about this. She was telling me, and then I learned blah 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 blah." You know what I mean? So, I think a lot of my ways, like Pop can tell you how I was. Like if I say I wasn't stressing or going through this, when I had a bunch of commissary that I ain't need for nothing, I wasn't worrying about nothing. I was getting my mom and them sisters was bringing my kids up, or they was just coming every 6 weeks. It was really every 4 weeks. I started extending them 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Every year I got a different girl or somebody popped up because I wasn't keeping contact with people. So I think that a lot of that for me is thinking that I'm okay. Thinking that the misconception, if it's personal, I don't mind sharing because I know I ain't the only one that go through these things. I think the biggest misconception for me is because I always been a giver, because I always been a go-getter on top, I was always in front. I was somewhere in the front, on the ladder of the front. People think that I'm okay. And I don't need advice. It was always hard for me to get advice. Like, even since I was a kid, I was one of them people that when I get grown people advice, then when I seek advice, they be like, man, you'll figure it out. You know what I mean? So it's like coming home, I'm back at square one with you'll figure it out. And so whatever I'm going through, like, I could tell somebody like, yo, I suffer from PTSD heavy. Like when I'm sitting in class under the lights, my mind is flickering and running 1,000 miles per hour. I can't remember people. I know them, but I don't know why we was cool. I'm like, damn, I know this person. I'm forgetting that. But normally I know everybody. But right before I came home, I still remember everybody. This person, that person, this name, that name. But once I came home and the world and the new world order overwhelmed me. Like he was saying back in the day, coming home from jail back in the day was different because people were still outside. The environment, the neighborhoods it was all love. So even if it was just for that day, you got your moment. You know what I mean? You came on, they threw a party for you, cookout, whatever it might have been. Like they showed you so much love, even if everybody tomorrow got back to the regular. Nowadays, it's no neighborhood no more. So you coming home to emptiness. So the people that you do like kind of the ones that didn't disappoint you. To everybody might have disappointed you, but like you said, there's levels. A few people you might hold on to. Coming home and not having that attachment to those people no more. Like people got to understand that we are stuck in the past in the minds of most people. Because if I went to jail in 2002, that's what you remember. Whatever we was doing, but not more than you remember me that way. I remember everything that happened in those times, even though I may have changed. So those people that I loved in 2002 is the same people I'ma love today. I held that love, and I held that love I had for you through my bit. So I'm hoping you live. I'm praying for you. I'm hoping you don't die by the time I come home. Because we call home. This person got killed. This person got killed. This happened. And I'm not talking about now we in a time where them getting killed is almost becoming like so like normal that it ain't even the same. That's just 10 years ago, 15, still when somebody got killed, it was like, damn, for real? Now it's like, oh, damn, another young boy. But back then it was still like, damn, for real? So these people you praying for, that you holding on to, you come home, you got to face the reality that them connections is not the same, or the fake aunts and uncles is not fake. They don't even care for you no more because the world changed and everybody basically selfish in their own world now. So that's they're not reciprocating that same love that you used to. So my thing is, people think you okay, and I'm not afraid to admit on the surface I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm handling my business. I'm making all these different things happen. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm living like, you know what I mean? Everything good, but I'm not okay. It's a reality. And I think when I try to stress this to people, say, yo, I'm not okay. You know, for a split, I never killed myself before a split second. One time, I thought about jumping off a bridge, let's just say. Like something that I would have never thought about. Like I might not be like, I'm about to go jump off the bridge, but you might be thinking like, damn, the world left me. Like I said, I was an information person because now everybody kind of can do the same. I was one of the funniest dudes. Now everybody can do the same. They just pick their phone up. It could be a dude in Alaska, funny as I was. So they don't like, you lose your sense of purpose when you're a leader. I've always been a leader. You know what I mean? So a lot of that stuff is a challenge for me because now what's my purpose? If I was the one that always was the glue to bring everybody together, if I was the one that always was getting the money first and putting everybody on, if I was the one that was the leader of the family, my mom and everybody called me first, and now the respect is there, but the influence is not. So now I'm debating with my little cousin about something he about to do stupid because before, once I say whatever I say, it go. But now that things have changed and people have grown and different things have happened and you be absent and now you trying to tell people the simplest things and they giving you pushback like, oh, all right, whatever. Like, and you like, damn, you ready to crash into a wall. And before, if I would have said that's a wall right there, you'd be like, oh, I bet. I'm glad you said that. So you kind of start losing your purpose and you got to refine purpose. Like, people don't understand how heavy that is. Like, we coming out here, we working and we hanging in there, we doing all right. And because it's not like back in the day, the temptation ain't as heavy to jump back in the game. Like back in the day, I'm pretty sure it'll be a lot harder for all of us if the streets was what they was in 99, 2002. Like everybody out is live, is jumping out this joint. It might have been a little harder, like, damn, I ain't going around the way. Now it ain't no way. So it's easy not to go around the way. You just go work, busy yourself with yourself. So people don't understand the mental challenge that it is in different ways. From you losing your youth. And I don't mean this, and it's not to downplay a situation that may be in. I want to make this clear. But I'm not just thinking specifically for me, I'm thinking in general. Just being able to go to school at an early age to choose a career and have time to kind of have fun. You lose that because now when you at this age, you gotta be like, he's still 30, so they young, probably a little younger than me, but he's still big, like he's still in a good place at 30, you know what I mean? But he still deal with the effects that I deal with, but he can kind of like rebound better. And I wish I was 30, come on. Kind of glad I'm not from what's going on, but what I'm just saying in general, like that time that like, when I'm in my mid 40s now. So I just opened the door to my mid 40s, so I lost all my 20s and 30s in jail. When I see these young people, young relationships, like you said, love. Even though I don't care for love, that don't mean that. My window when I feel like it would have been at its purest is gone. You know what I mean? Because let's say I marry you. You got kids. You got this going on. You've been through this, been through that, been through this. I marry you. You got kids, whatever. Y'all been through a bunch of heartache relationships. So now that you got a wall up, it ain't just me. You got one up too. So we both trying to chip each other wall down, and we both stubborn in certain things. So that's a fight alone. And then the thing is, like I said, I could probably speak for more people in jail, but I'm gonna speak for myself. My mental capacity can't take that no more. That's why you don't have time for, like, I'm good, like, I'm cool, because it's too much. That same thing, I might have used to can fight back and forth and be petty and all that with a chick. I'm cool, but I'm gonna go back home later. Now I don't have the mental capacity to deal with that. I'm shutting down, and the first thing I'm thinking is, I'm alone again. See, this is why we cover our heart and protect ourselves, because it don't take much for us to feel by ourselves. And we already dealing with the world being the world changed on us. The world totally flipped from what we remember. So not only is the world different, it's like we coming out into Mars. Like, oh, what's going on? Everything's so different. And then now, soon as somebody do something and they strip certain things away, or they acting funny, or it's something that's instantly you feel like, oh, I'm by myself again. So I gotta protect myself. So people, like you said something after I said earlier. One thing about me, I'm a vocal person. And I don't be speaking specific a lot. I speak in general more than I speak specifically. But I be talking about my experience. So, no, I want you to understand, because I would tell you, like, say if me and you was dating, or we was about to get, I would tell you everything that I felt though I needed you to know. And I also would ask you everything I thought that you needed to teach me. You see what I'm saying? So likewise, when people don't understand that you need help, because they see that you holding up, or you still look in shape, or you got you a nice car, you got a job, you maintain, you doing better than these dudes that have been out here. Like Pop said, some of us come home and we surpass dudes that's already out here getting high, looking all crazy and nutty. We out here doing better, getting more chicks than them already. We ain't even more. But at the end of the day, people look at that like, oh, he cool. But they don't know what you go through, because you can't just detach yourself from when your head hit the pillow at night when you was in them jails. I don't care what you did, what persona you put on, everybody still had deep thoughts, even if it wasn't the worst thoughts when your head hit the pillow. Being out here is like, you don't have a pillow no more. At least in jail, you went to your cell, you knew, all right, I still get the dream and the hope and the desire for when you're going to get back home was always like, it's like a Muslim striving for Jannah. You know that you pray 5 times a day, you make dua, you try to avoid certain sins, and when you do sin, you seek forgiveness, whatever, because ultimately you want to make it to heaven. You want to make it to the paradise. That's how being in jail is. You somehow, even if you got a date, or you trying to get a date, you working on, you knowing at the end of this not what it is. When you come back to the real world, this the real world. Ain't nowhere else to go but death. So when you can't connect with the people, and they not trying to connect with you, and you trying to tell them who you is, and you trying to teach them, and you trying to tell them, like, look, don't take me the wrong way. We all little. I'm kind of literal. So if you tell me something, or you don't answer your phone, or you tell me something, and I call you back, and I don't hear from you 2 days, like, I'm taking that personal, because we literal. And when we need help, we need help. We need coaching, we need coaching. We need comfort, we need comfort. Maybe I am a rock, or like he said, maybe he got a wall up, or maybe I don't. I do want loyalty. Why? Because I don't trust your love. You understand? So maybe you got to work harder, or people got to work harder at making us believe that what they say is truth. Because I'm not okay. Because my whole life I've been nothing but disappointed and let down. But I've been working through it. So these different traumas and PTSD and these different things, like, no, my cousin had told me, she was like, you know what I be thinking about you? My little cousin, she a couple years older than me. She said, no, I was like, damn, my little cousin, he came home, but all his life he been, and this go for us, all whole young adulthood, we've been having people locking us in at a certain time, telling us what to do, forcing us to live with people that we might not want to live with. We got to damn near negotiate them just to get somebody that we feel like is a little more comfortable to live with. And that most of the time never work when you got to be in the cell with the dudes you was thorough with. You like, damn, it messed up our relationship. So you got a bunch of different stuff you're dealing with, different They saying you got people by the thousands running in and out, year on year, month on month, day on day. There's constant rotation. And then you come home. Then for me, I come home. I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with trying to rebuild. I'm dealing with the world being different and not understanding the new world, but adapting. I'm dealing with that boom. I'm dealing with people lying at my job and different, like this the stuff that we got to deal with when you on a borderline because you might got priors or because you got to hustle every grind. And then boom, my son get killed. Now I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with this. I'm dealing with that. And it's non-stop. And you constantly overwhelmed. And you need people to understand you from a mental standpoint that if we need a break, if we need this, if we need that, yo, this stuff is real. Like, just because I seem like a strong man don't mean I don't have a sensitivity where I just need to be comforted. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the biggest misconception is people see you come home and do things that people not doing or people can't do or people not putting the effort in to do, because they can do it too, of course. Anything anybody can do if they put the work in, right? Except for what you humanly can't do. Like, I'm not 6'10", so of course I'm not going to do no 360 windmill with the ball through my legs on no NBA court. I might do it on a crate outside at 6 foot. You know what I mean? But I'm not, so I can't do that. But these other things that I can do, they see you be successful and they say, oh yeah, you cool. Mm-hmm. But you don't know, I might feel lonely. Like, I don't care how hard I am. I don't care how much I prepared for this in jail. We still gonna be lonely when you ain't got nobody. Because we run on trying to figure out who we got. And you know what we become? We get each other in there. We hold on to each other. We all we got. We hit this track. We eating together. If I ain't got no commissary before I come home, Pop, you got some sausages down there? You go in the store this week, grab me 2 bags of chips, 2 sausages, a bag of rice. I already know he got me. Let's see, he ain't got no money. I'd rather go to him before I call home. And it's because I know my man got me. And he know the likewise. So we ain't got to worry about nothing. We got each other. There might be 4 or 5 of us that's like this, that no matter what, we got each other. And that becomes more important than anything outside. You know what I'm saying? So when you come back out here, you don't got that camaraderie no more. That camaraderie you can trust. Us be walking the yard, I can go out here and I can feel like we can take on the whole world and we good. Because even if we falling together. When you come out here and you lose that camaraderie with the people that you're around, now you're like, I'm telling them I got issues mentally. I'm telling them I may struggle with this. I got this wall up. I'm telling them, help me with this. And they let me fall. Now I know that I'm falling on the dolo. And when you fall right now on the dolo, you ain't got nobody to pick you up. Ain't nobody pick you up. You're a grown man. You ain't no little kid. Mom can't pick you up. She gonna try, but you know, as a man, you don't even want nah, mom. Put that little mom, let me go ahead and figure it out. Mom, I got 200 for you. Hey, take this, baby. Nah, mom, keep that. What I'm gonna do with that? I'm gonna go find a job. So let me wrap it up. But basically, my is the okay thing. You know what I mean? You know, Wally, we could go, we be on the joint 4 or 5 hours. But it's more so people think that we okay. And I'm gonna put it on myself because I don't want to put this on them. I'm not okay. I'm okay in a general sense. But the specific sense, I'm not okay. I realize that now. When I take my hat off, all my hair gray, I know I said this before, but y'all don't understand the effect that had when you go to jail 22, 23, and you curly hair and this, that, and other. You really look at you like, God damn, I got gray on my hair, God damn. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really old. You ever see all these young people running around the streets like, damn, I really done. The effect of it for me on the back end, damn, I lost all my youth. I didn't appreciate my youth. My kids at the time, my kids' mom, I didn't treat them like a family. You start looking at the mistakes that you made. Being Muslim, because the law wasn't meant to happen that way, but you still learn lessons from what you go through. And it's one of I used to say this, and then Jay-Z came out and phrased it good for me back in the day. My cousins and them, they used to be bidding on me laughing because I was always studious and serious about getting money or whatever I had a plan on. What do you say? Since I would not lose, they try to help them cheat. So I'm gonna start from there. He said, and I will not lose even if it's in defeat because it's a valuable lesson learned. And it evens it up for me. Like he say, is it Uchi Wali Wali? Is it one mic? Is it black? Oh yeah, he said, I've been real all my life. They confuse it with deceit. So since I would not lose, they try to help them cheat. But I would not lose even if it's in defeat because it's a valuable lesson learned. So it evens it up for me. So for us, It used to be laughing. Like he always took it. I used to say, even in the loss, I'm learning a lesson. You understand? So, like he said, he wouldn't take the jail back. I tell people the same thing. Of course, I would have wanted to be out here having a ball, but I'm not taking jail back. You know why? Because the valuable lessons that I learned through all of it is scoping me out to be who I'm gonna be from this day forth until I die. And this man, and that man, and that man, I'm sure we could put us up against any of these dudes who've been out here, who graduated college, who claim to be solid, and we'll shut a lot of bulls down. Just on a man, and I ain't talking about no tough fighting, and I'm talking about just on a respectable, honorable, loyal, straight up and down, the man that you're supposed to be, the man that the world say that black men are supposed to be breeded into, then that's what we gonna stand on. You feel what I'm saying? So when the black man, when we say we need help, when we say we need it, people need to have a conscience of we don't want to be hard all the time. Don't nobody want to be walk around on the He-Man joint all day, you know what I mean, on Schwarzenegger tip. You know what I mean? We want to be like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we go back to teach us how to love. It go back to, you know, chip the wall down, but don't let me feel like get curious, so I gotta cut you off because I'm gonna cut you before you cut me. That's what it is. Like I sense any type of let me cut you off. So it's just us being through these different challenges. So I'm not okay. That's my misconception, is that people see that you functioning well. Not being okay don't mean you crazy and you stupid or you tired. It just means that you got, you know, you need comfort and support and whatever else too, from the mental, from the heart, from the body, from the soul. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like, you know, if I know I don't want to push religion on everybody, but I almost know this, that most Muslims that fear Allah and practice and try, they hang on to what they could, came out with sanity. Wasn't out, you know what I mean? The ones who practice properly. And I'm not saying that some of them didn't come out crazy, but the ones who really was on it, who really practiced, who really devoted themselves, who really turned to their Lord, they stayed. Oh, excuse me, can't say that no more. They stayed away from the jail gigs. They stayed away from the drugs. They stayed away from the nonsense. No, I'm telling you, because it take a lot to survive in there. And everybody ain't on that nonsense. You know, so people feel like that, but everybody ain't on that. I mean, out here now, there's man on man crime all day, so it's cool. But in there, that ain't cool. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, it was crazy over the last years, and we all can speak to this. I promise you, this is my last. Now that you come out here and you see what's going on, because we from back in the day, you say, now I understand why these young, because you be like, why this dude just came off that young boy? I got 20 years and this dude got 16 months and he out here, he had charming with these, you know what I mean? He had tripping. Because when they come, they expose a lot of bulls, but it ain't everybody. That's another bad conception. Everybody ain't on that nonsense in there just because ain't no women around. That's a small weirdo few that's on that. But it do happen. And so you come out here, you see that, oh, this is what's normal now. So these kids coming in, they bringing that in there. They like, oh, it's normal. So we looking at them like they crazy. They looking at us like we crazy when we telling them, yo, you out of pocket, chill, don't, I mean, but why? We check about, I had 16, 17 balls and, you know, on the account of that, just alone. So it's a lot of misconceptions, but the main one is we do need help, man. When a boy crying out for help, no matter how good he doing, no matter how straight he look, no matter how all together, we do need help. And help it don't gotta be like we gotta be bums on the street or nothing crazy. Just know that we need to be dealt with a sensitive cushion, just like anybody else. Ash. No, Nash. Ash.
You got a big step.
Yeah, I can't go away.
Yeah. Oh, I know this one.
All right, so for me, I guess I'm going to stop my questions there for y'all, but I just want to say that right there, it was needed to be heard, right?
Absolutely.
A lot of people think, like you said, oh, they've been in jail, they hardcore, they good. Or even shoot, I can speak for myself. Just because I got it all together don't mean that hello, I'm human too. You know what I mean? Check on me too sometimes, right?
Absolutely.
But a lot of people don't check in,
Right?
right? Oh, she good, they good. You know what I mean? But So I like that you said that because it needed to be heard, especially, given the circumstances at the end of the day. And hopefully whoever do check on you, they, watch this, that do know you, now they know, right?
Mhm.
So it kind of like removes the whole thing about the love piece, right?
Yeah.
I ain't looking for love. I ain't looking for that. Not to say that you are, but it still ties into it. Like, dang, I'm not okay.
I
Check
need
on
to be
me
there
too,
too.
right? Yeah, I need a hug. I need to, like, you good today? You know what I mean? Or bring him his favorite little piece of candy. I mean, he's been snacking all the time. Anything, right? Just little stuff like that matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So that's extremely important. Everybody brought something different today, right? Even on part one, y'all all brought something different that we can learn from and respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And really shed light on stuff that we can only assume, right? 'Cause like you said, I hope that I never go to jail, right?
I hope so too.
You know what I mean? Like, I ain't trying to go to shoot. Listen. So the fact, like you said, that brotherhood, that the stuff that y'all got going on will always remain, right? That's why it's like, yeah, y'all reach back. People, you come home and people still calling and you reaching back in to where you once was, because that was family. That's family at the end of the day. And I mean, honestly, people do try to say, well, I'm family. No, that's a different kind of family, right?
Yeah.
It's an unspoken thing that y'all got going on. And you gotta respect that, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is. Who even trying to come between it anyway? But people do,
Yeah.
because they don't understand it. But when it's all said and done, the fact that, like you said, y'all came out, y'all still, yes, we all got issues. I never touched a jail cell, but we all got our own issues that we dealing with, whether we vocalize it or we internalize it, right?
That's the point. I'm filtered.
All day long. And the fact that y'all are able to, and it's not wearing nothing on your sleeve, but able to actually say it, right?
Yeah. My alarm. But sorry about that.
Okay. The fact that y'all
No, I was looking for the time.
I'm cracking up the fact
I
that
thought I
y'all,
seen that 13.
You looking for the time? Listen. Okay. Finish that.
the fact that y'all are able to the fact that y'all are able to, still come out and have some, sanity about yourselves, right? And still be able to live like you say, you're in your mid-40s, fresh 30, almost 40 over here, or whatever the case may be, which is still life to live, right?
Yeah.
Yes, y'all lost a lot, but again, if you never went to jail, y'all might not even be sitting here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it kind of saved y'all in a way as well.
Yeah.
And shaped y'all in a way that y'all didn't know y'all needed to be shaped, right?
Yeah.
So my thing is like, we living in a time where, like you said, it's like normal. Oh, he got killed. Dang, that's crazy,
That's
right?
crazy.
Like, but it's not crazy like it's supposed to be crazy, right?
Yeah.
Everybody desensitized to the fact that oh yeah, he just got shot again. Oh, they did that again.
Yeah.
And it's like, that, how is that even normal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is right now. Right now we're in a space in a time where all of that is normal. So we got younger kids that's going to be going to prison, 12-year-olds, 13 or 14-year-olds. It's like, damn, like, what a 12-year-old do? You can't even say that no more, right?
No.
So hopefully people can learn from that. Like, and everybody, like, maybe that can say they like going to jail, but you don't really want a 12 or 13. Look at the effects of it, right?
Yeah.
We be sitting around the table looking at what jail does to you. It got some good because it saved your life and it shaped you, but at the same time, you're going to wear whatever it gave you for the rest of your life, right? They can't really say if y'all can really unwire everything. You can't, right? It kind of like, it's like a stain, right?
Yeah.
And not a bad stain, but a stain that a constant reminder of where you've been, right?
Mm-hmm.
And where you're trying to go. So at the end of the day, I respect everything that was laid out today. I'm happy that we was able to get some insight. Like I said, we could sit around all the time, damn, what they doing in jail? Like, what they got going on?
We could always
like,
assume.
you know what I mean? Nobody really know unless
Yeah.
you, like, even if you're having conversations with somebody that's incarcerated, you still don't know the inside of it, right?
Yeah.
And what does it do to them over time, right? We don't know, right? So for y'all to be able to come in and give that today and last week or whatever to the people is much, and I know that there's so much more we could have touched on today,
Oh yeah,
Of course.
absolutely.
right?
But
But we touched it, like the last time y'all gave out the other stuff, the day was like more like personal, like
more.
we got to really know y'all more on a different level today, right?
Yeah.
The love side of things.
The expectations.
You know what I mean? The walls, the fact that, like, dang, I'm not okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I really like that.
But I do want to say this. I don't want, because people support me. I don't want it to sound like I'm just not. No, because I just like earlier. When not. I want y'all.
Go ahead.
When we in, I don't. This ain't for us. We talking to the people in general to kind of give them an understanding, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But as I was thinking about it when you said it, I don't want nobody to think that like my people around me, just like them, ain't nobody just like we just out here on the raw joint. Ain't nobody. Nah, that ain't like when you speak your feelings, right? Sometimes it's not like we might be getting all the support, still not feel supported. It might just be a hole within us that people going out beyond their way to try to give us support, and we still might feel like we lacking. So it's a part of the mental part of it. So I don't want it to be literal, whereas though it's seeming like I'm saying like, oh, I'm not okay, and nobody's even caring or helping or trying. That ain't what I mean.
I ain't take
I didn't take
not y'all. It's just
Yeah.
about the clarity. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be taken literal, whereas though we saying like nobody in our lives or this, that, and other will help. It's just when we talking to the people, expressing ourselves, we expressing ourselves so people can also get a point of view of different point of views. You know what I mean? It might not have to be literal. Like that don't mean you just cut off the last joint he was talking to because she said why you know what I mean? It don't mean it just a point of view.
Yeah,
Different views of perspectives.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we didn't get that at all. I feel like when you said you was not okay, I felt like you were able to articulate that very well in a way that like it's sometimes I do need a little extra, you know, but no, I don't think the way you presented it was like, oh my God, I'm drowning in my emotions. No, I didn't.
I mean, but even if you were, that's still part
it's
of being
okay.
human at the end of the day, right?
No, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So no, I yeah.
But
like
you want
said.
people to see like from all aspects. Like you want people to be like, okay, maybe my friend or my brother or my husband or my person could be going through those things, and I think he's cool because he seemed to have it together, but maybe he do still need help. And you know what? It ain't even about the help. It's just about the PTSD, the mental state of what you just gonna go through anyway. Regardless if people try to do whatever it took. Sometimes that's not what it is. That's not enough. It's just something that the jail stuff and what you've been through make you constantly go through, whether you got all the support or not.
And not only that, based off of it doesn't matter how well you was able to convey that to people. People are going to still build their own perception. Yes, they're going to build their own perception on how they feel about what you said. They're going to take it and dissect it and pick it apart. You know, so like I said, we didn't get that. So
No, I liked it. It was good.
It was very good.
Right? Everybody needed to hear that. At the end of the day, and that people just going to take it however they want to take it, even after you cleared it up.
Yeah.
But so no, I just thank y'all, for coming on, putting your stuff out on the table for the world to see. Hopefully somebody learned from this, right?
Yes.
The way the world is going for young black men is a sad state right now. And I can even say just black men, there's black women getting murdered too because they mixed up in things they have no business in, right? So I just really hope that this, and also that it helped them, because I kind of laughed. That part was really funny about the family.
Yeah.
I think you said that about the family thinking they no, excuse me, you don't know me no more, and back up a little bit, like let me learn me again, like you don't know me, so that was needed to be heard as well, because that's a big thing for people that coming home. So y'all really brought some raw stuff, because this is the unfiltered way, and I really thank y'all for coming on part 2. Thank you. So I mean, seriously, now this is major.
Yeah, for
I've been talking about this kind of episode for a minute, and I really wanted to get it out.
About that.
Real talk, because I really wanted to get it out there, because a lot of people that's incarcerated, right?
Oh yeah.
Some people never coming home again, so maybe they can. I don't know if they got like YouTube in prison or not. Do they?
No.
Oh,
I mean, if you got a phone, certain spots probably with cell phone, but on the general.
Oh no, nothing like that. Oh, dang. All right. Well, anyway, so regardless of the fact, hopefully this reached some ears and some hearts that need to hear it, and they got a better way of dealing with the people that they love that may have been home for a while, just coming home, or hopefully you see the effects that jail has on you. You don't try to do things that land you where in jail, and that's just that. And this is Nash signing off.
Neighborhood Wise Man, the boy C Hop.
Abdul Jabbar, aka Pop.
Wiley. Ain't no nickname.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.